We're one play away from an injury.
He knows this. He's a study of the game.
And we have strong opinions.
He's been awful. I don't think they were trying, and that's why I feel the way I feel.
This is Stillman and Company with Jared Stillman and Caroline Fenton. Presented by TriStar Moving on Nashville's best sports talk, 102.5 and 106.3 The Game. And on the Game Nashville app.
Stillman and Company is delivered by TriStar Moving, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Streaming live on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook Live. Thanks to the losses of Amanda J. Gentry. Caroline's here today.
Hey, it's good to see you.
Yeah, it's good to have you here with us today, Caroline.
Happy to be back.
Nice to see you. Nice to see you on a Fireball Hot Take Friday. Ian's here today. Hey!
Yay!
What up? What up?
Everybody decided to show up for
Working
work.
the bit. Okay, well, it's not like I was not working the past 2 days.
You were sick Monday. Ian was sick on yesterday.
It's that time of the year.
I mean, you guys.
But
you
we feel
crazy
better,
kids
thanks
and
for
all your-
asking.
Yeah, I mean. It's, all right, Fireball Hot Take Friday. Let's get to this. Start off with an opening question, which is this season, the Titans have played a handful of good teams and a handful of bad teams. And I think it is overtly simplistic to just say that the Titans have lost to all the good teams and they've beaten almost all the bad teams. I think it's fair, though. They lost to the Giants. They lost to the Bills. They lost to the Chiefs. And they lost to the Bengals. And we can go over each one of those losses. And every loss, it's like the Ryan Tannehill interceptions from last year. They all have a different story. If you want to excuse it, you may excuse it however you'd like. But the reality is when the Titans play the Raiders or the Colts or the Broncos or the Texans, they win. When the Titans play the Chiefs, the Bills, the Bengals, the Giants, they lose. Anybody have any problem with that take?
Nope.
Okay. That is the opposite of how the Titans have been run for the last handful of years. And I wonder, going up against the Philadelphia Eagles, the best team in the NFL record-wise, number 3, as far as the FanDuel Sportsbook app is concerned, in terms of winning the Super Bowl, is the Mike Vrabel special dead? This is not what we're used to with the Titans. We are used to they'll beat Kansas City and then lose to the Texans. Not, they'll beat the Texans and then lose to Kansas City. Not, they'll beat the Broncos or the crummy Packers and then they'll turn around and lose to the Bengals, who are actually a good team. This is almost like a generic year, like the Titans are a regular team. So I ask everybody, is the Mike Vrabel special dead? Who wants to go first?
I will.
Go.
No.
Why? There's no proof of the Vrabel special this season.
Well,
Buffalo,
is the season over?
But I would agree. It's not over. There's 2 chances.
It would be so Vrabel special to go on the road at Philly and beat the Eagles and then, lose to the Jags.
That is who they play next week.
So if that happens, that is 100% the picture-perfect, by definition, of Vrabel special.
But this is the only week that's left to do this because
Well, it could still happen.
Playing the Cowboys at home on that Thursday night, but it's not really a Thursday night because they play on a Saturday for Christmas Eve. So instead of the 3 days in between games, it's 4 days in between games. So that Dallas game is not really technically a Thursday night, but those are the only 2 good teams left. Chargers,
Nah, that's not a Vrabel special.
Yeah, no. Chargers, nobody believes in the Chargers anymore, so they're out. So the only possible Vrabel special that's left is this game. That, and if you want to count the Cowboys, I don't count the Cowboys because it's at home. And because most people don't believe in the Cowboys, even though I do believe in the Cowboys, which I almost have to go take a shower for thinking that, because my entire adult life I have been trained to never believe in the Cowboys. I've never thought the Cowboys were contenders. Now I think the Cowboys are legit contenders, but this is not a Cowboy show. So back to the Titans.
Every other show in America is.
So you're banking on this. Do you think the Titans are going to win?
I wouldn't be surprised. No, I'll give my official pick at the end of the show.
No, that's the rule.
But I would not be surprised.
Ian, is the Mike Vrabel special, as we know it, is it dead?
Like for good?
For this season.
For this season?
Or maybe for good.
I can't go for good, right? But I'm skeptical we'll see one this season.
I mean, part of the thing that gets me, too, is it's not just, like, the Vrabel special is about the winning. We know that. It's the winning against the teams that nobody thinks you can beat.
That's the fun part of the Vrabel special.
But it's also the losing.
Yeah.
And other than the Giants game, and that we didn't know that the Giants were good, Other than the Giants game, they haven't lost a single game to a bad team. And if the Vrabel special existed still, then would it not have been perfect for them to lose to that Giants team that everybody thought was bad, that actually technically is good, and then turn around and beat the Bills the next week? But they didn't. They got smoked by the Bills, which is what everybody was expecting. I mean,
But can you expect a Vrabel special? Isn't that what makes it a Vrabel special?
I mean, haven't we gotten to the point of where we've expected the Vrabel special and it's worked in the past?
Yeah. But I guess going into this weekend, if we want to call it a Vrabel special, if the Titans don't beat the Eagles this weekend, then yes, I would say the Vrabel special is dead for this season, not for good. But I'm not counting it out.
Because they do, again, they do play the Cowboys. And so.
But beating the Cowboys to me isn't like, oh my gosh, how in the world did the Titans pull this off? And I feel like that's what the Vrabel special is.
Who do you think's a better team right now, Eagles or Cowboys?
Honestly, the Cowboys.
Ian, who do you think's a better team, Eagles or Cowboys?
That is a good question. I'm going to lean. I think I might lean slightly Eagles.
Okay, majority rules, Cowboys. I mean, I'm not a huge Eagle believer. Like, when we talk about the Vrabel special, I kind of even wonder if this game qualifies as a Mike Vrabel special game.
AJ thing on the road at Philly. They're the best team in the NFL, top seed in the NFC, total Vrabel special.
So the AJ thing is more just like overall gossip and drama.
But that adds to it. It's a little extra zhuzh.
I know, but the Titans usually avoid those things. So it's actually been refreshing that the Titans have had a week where we get to enjoy some of that. But as far as the Vrabel special, the Vrabel special is, by definition, and I'm allowed to make this up right now because I'm the one who made up the Vrabel special.
You're like the college football playoff committee. You just make up your own rules and break
Boo
your own
Corrigan.
rules.
So here's the Vrabel special. The Vrabel special is a game in which the Titans absolutely have no business winning on paper or absolutely have no business losing, and the actual exact result of what happens. Had the Titans, let's just say, on that last drive, and this didn't happen, but let's just say, on the last drive of the Kansas City game in regulation, Patrick Mahomes fumbles the ball on that 19-yard scramble, and the Titans pick it up, and Derrick Henry runs for a first down, and they kneel out the clock. Total Vrabel special. Double-digit underdogs on the road, Sunday Night Football.
Backup
no
quarterback.
one thinks they're going to win. Bum quarterback in there. And the Titans gut it through, and the defense stands up, and it's like, how are they going to stop Travis Kelce? And they do. That is a Vrabel special to a T. The Titans are 4.5-point dogs. They were 5.5 yesterday. They're 4.5-point dogs. It's not like they're 18-point dogs going up against the Eagles. And that number, again, that 4.5, I'm stunned by. I mean, normally, I feel like Vegas doesn't respect the Titans. This, I think they might be giving the Titans too much credit. I thought the line was going to be like 8.
I think it'd probably be fair.
So 4.5 right now on the FanDuel Sportsbook app, I'm actually kind of shocked by. So then does this game even qualify as a Mike Vrabel special? Because the one thing that I'm not hearing, and this game isn't getting a lot of coverage, and I understand why, because it's a noon kickoff on Fox, whereas the big game is Kansas City and Cincinnati, and that should be the big game, Kansas City, Cincinnati. And Miami and San Francisco, I think, has a little juice to it. Mm-hmm. It's a pretty good game. And so the Titans game is kind of like the third game of importance, and so it gets a little talk, but not a lot of talk. But it's not like people are thinking, oh, Philadelphia is just so good, and Tennessee, who lost last week to Cincinnati, they're phonies, they're frauds, they have no shot. Philadelphia is too good, they're going to blow the Titans out. Nobody's saying that. The Vegas line is not saying that. Maybe it's not even that big of an upset if the Titans were to go up there and win. I mean, think about this. 3 points is home field. The Eagles are a 4.5-point favorite, which means that Vegas thinks that the Eagles are 1.5 points better than the Titans. So maybe it's not even a Mike Vrabel special game to begin with.
But what if the Titans turn around and lose to the Jags?
Oh, that's a Vrabel special because that Jags team stinks.
Because the Vrabel special has 2 parts.
It does. But sometimes they're like different in the season. It's not exactly the immediate next week. Now that did happen.
But it would make sense.
Sure. Oh,
Beat
yeah,
the
yeah.
best team in the NFC and then lose to one of the worst teams in the AFC.
But the only other opportunities for Vrabel specials this year have not come to pass. They beat the Texans, went on the road, they lost to Kansas City. I mean, every single one of these games. Washington and Green Bay are a little different because it would not have been an unmitigated, shocking disaster for the Titans to have lost those games, even though in hindsight, Green Bay kind of sucks. Like, it wouldn't have been, if they had lost it, we wouldn't have been like, team sucks, just like how we weren't like, team sucks after they lost to the Bengals.
Right.
But, like, Texans, yes. Broncos, yes. Raiders, no at the time, but yes.
Commanders, yes at the time, kind of no now.
Oh, boy, that team stunk at the time.
But I'll ask you this. Is it the worst thing if the Vrabel special is dead? Because I wouldn't mind if the losing to the Texans every single year, the Texans, the Jags, a bad team, I wouldn't mind if that was no longer a thing.
So that the Titans just every year beat the teams that they should beat.
And lose to the teams that they should lose to.
I just don't know if they can win a Super Bowl doing that, especially with Ryan Tannehill as the quarterback. I just don't think that they can. And I think ultimately at some point the head coach is going to have to carry the team through, uninspiring odds to a victory where everybody after the fact says, those Titans, I don't know how they do it, but somehow, some way, those Titans did it. That's what they're going to have. And I'm going to say this. Again, I invented it, so I get to do this. This win would be a Vrabel special. Because, again, I think the number should be, and I'm not saying the Titans are going to lose, but I think the number should be Philadelphia -8. Not Philadelphia -4.5. So Vegas can say that, just like I thought that 2-touchdown spread against the Chiefs was crazy.
That was ridiculous.
I'm going to say that if they win this game, it's a Vrabel special. Even though there isn't any star player that's injured, there isn't any one group of players that is totally decimated, like the 2018 Texans game where the Titans were taking on one of the top pass rushes in the NFL without any starting tackles, or last year's San Francisco game where Dylan Radins had to play left tackle and it was almost an unmitigated disaster. It may not be as like one-sided as that, but I'm going to say that because the Eagles are the best team in the NFL by record, regardless of the fact that nobody out there thinks that the Eagles are actually the best team in the NFL, this game would qualify as a Vrabel special. So if the Vrabel special still exists, they have to win this game this week. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. That's how we're starting. 615. Two, is it dead? Three, why is it dead? Why have they not beaten any of these good teams this year? And then coming up next, at the end of the day, I'm a big believer in knowing who knows. TD knows. There is nobody who knows more about the Philadelphia Eagles in Nashville, Tennessee than Teron Davenport does. And TD says the Titans have a legitimate chance to beat the Eagles. He'll explain why next. Stillman and Company, Fireball Hot Take Friday, 615-737-1025. Caroline, tell us about the Caesars Sportsbook app.
It is time for the Caesars Sportsbook Report. Now, your first bet with the Caesars Sportsbook app, it is on Caesars up to $1,250. Just sign up using the promo code RADIOFULL, one word, RADIOFULL, and then place your first bet. And if you win, that money is all yours. Go have fun with it. But if not, don't worry about it because you'll get that stake back as a free bet. We've got a Pac-12 championship tonight. This is the most important, in my opinion, conference championship going on this weekend. Give me Utah +3, but USC to win. Utah is a really good team, but it's hard to beat a team twice. I think this is going to be like a 2 or 3 point game. Open to users in Tennessee who are 21 or older. If qualifying bet loses, bet amount returned as a credit. Must use within 14 days. See Caesars.com/promos for full terms. Gambling problem? Call or text the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789. Caesars Sportsbook. You bet, you get.
Your home for the MTSU Blue Raiders is 102.5 and 106.3 The Game. Every touchdown.
Yes, touchdown.
Every three.
Free ball, yes, sir.
It all lives here.
Middle Tennessee.
You can also hear the Blue Raiders in the Borough on 97.5, Middle Tennessee Athletics on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Calling a criminal defense lawyer or a divorce lawyer, you may think it's the worst day of your life. It doesn't have to be. If you have quality, competent representation who can guide you through a complex system, we can do that for you. Despite if you've been arrested for a DUI or a robbery charge, whether or not you're going through a divorce or a post-divorce, or demanding your fundamental constitutional right to parent your children. 615-604-6263. AmandaJGentry.com.
Is there an upside to today's rising inflation and interest rates? There is if you own a home. While houses in Nashville are getting harder to sell, they're more attractive than ever to rent. Renting delivers regular cash flow, appreciation, and tax benefits. And when you hire Renters Warehouse as your property manager, you won't have to find tenants, collect rent, or handle those annoying 3 a.m. maintenance calls. Book your free home rental price analysis today at renterswarehouse.com or call 615-398-9550. Renters Warehouse. You can't buy happiness, but you can rent it.
When it comes to procuring my adult beverages for the big games, I saddle up and head to Red Spirits and Wine. Red's titanic selection of beer, wine, distilled spirits, and cigars is second to none. And Red's Cracker Jack crew always delivers a winning combination of service and value. There's no two ways about it. Red is top of the range. Open 7 days a week at Highway 70 South in Bellevue. And check us out at redspirits.com.
What's up, everybody? Michelle Knasvig here for Superbook Sports. And when it comes to sports, listen, everything is happening right now. Football, basketball, hockey, a little World Cup. And there's no better place to wager on all of it than Superbook Sports. When you sign up, deposit, and wager all in the same day, Superbook will give you a bonus up to $1,000. Yes, I said it, $1,000. When the sports world is busy, it is time to get busy winning some money. So download the Superbook Sportsbook app or visit superbook.com to wager and win today. Visit superbook.com for terms and conditions. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789.
The Nashville Jam Company is already a super popular weekend breakfast and brunch destination. But with summer over, it's time to put the beach body away for a while. So for fall, they've expanded their offerings and added what they call the Meat and Three menu. Yeah, cool weather and Southern comfort food go hand in hand. And the stars of this show are the hefty meatloaf, Southern fried catfish, slow-cooked pot roast, fried chicken, Salisbury steak, and a slew of other rib, stick, and delicacies. And they have salads, too, if you're into that kind of thing. Come see the new menu Monday through Friday from 10:30 till 2.
Never miss a moment of the show.
What is this? Check it out.
Subscribe to the Stillman and Company podcast on iTunes, Spotify, and wherever you get your podcasts. You're listening to Stillman and Company.
Presented by TriStar Moving.
102.5 and 106.3 The Game and on the Game Nashville app.
Do the Titans have a chance against the Eagles on Sunday?
They absolutely have a chance. I mean, Jordan Davis is probably going to play. But they went out and they signed Linval Joseph. They signed Ndamukong Suh. So the run defense has got shored up a little bit, but you could run the football against them. Go back and watch the Texans game. Watch the Washington game. The Washington game is the one to watch. Brian Robinson grinded them out. And if you could keep that game close and run the football, I think you can beat them.
Okay, TD says the Titans absolutely have a chance on Sunday at Philadelphia. Nobody knows more about the Eagles, in my opinion, in Nashville than TD. It's like nobody in the national media knows more about the Louisville Cardinals than I do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's TD's spot. It's TD's people. That's TD's team. Although, like, you know, TD's not like a fan of the Eagles, but TD
he covered the Eagles for so long.
He wrote the book on Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
Literally wrote the book. You can go to Amazon and buy a book written by TD about Carson Wentz.
It's a very niche little area that TD has there.
Hey.
Eagles and Titans expert.
TD's got it figured out. TD says absolutely they have a chance. And again, Vegas is saying the same thing. I mean, I'm a little surprised that you guys aren't as shocked as I am that this game's a 4.5-point spread.
I am shocked. I figured it would be at least 6.5. But again, I mean, I would not be surprised if the Titans pulled out a win. And I do wonder, did the spread open at 4.5?
I think it opened at 5.5.
That makes sense because
So
I think
more
that
money's coming in on the
people
Titans.
just hammered the Titans.
Why?
I don't think people believe in the Eagles.
I mean, I'll put it to you like this. I don't necessarily believe in the Eagles either, but the Eagles are 4th in the league in total offense, 3rd in scoring points. They're 2nd in the league in total defense, 9th in scoring points. They've got they had that one hiccup against Washington in which, honestly, they didn't play well and AJ didn't play well. I mean, TD's talking about how you can run the football on them. They're 18th in the league at stopping the run. That's not bad.
But they're like 6th worst in the league in yards per carry, defensively.
They are 23rd, which would be 9th worst.
Yeah.
So it's not like the Titans are running the ball very well lately.
No, but also.
And did you see the secret weapon is out Sunday?
Cody Hollister.
Cody Hollister is out on Sunday.
Who's going to block? Who's going to block?
I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, Todd Downing, I mean, they must have had like a top secret meeting inside the situation room in there, kind of like a vault. And Todd Downing probably cried and said that he thought that last week was tough on him. This week's going to be way tougher because they don't have Cody Hollister. So how are they going to run the ball?
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. But more importantly, I mean, this is the way this is what I think about the Titans against good teams. And the Eagles are a good team. And the Eagles have a good defense. When I used to play Madden football as a kid, I mean, I religiously played Madden football. And then kind of as like the PlayStation 3 got phased out and the PlayStation 4 came in, I really didn't play video games much anymore. But I used to always hit the square button and I'd ask Madden what play to run on offense. And then if I didn't like Madden's play, then I would just go with whatever play I wanted to go with. But I hit it so much that I kind of got used to what Madden would say when I would hit the button.
Uh-huh.
And so one of the things that Madden would say is sometimes to set up the pass, you got to use the run. But sometimes you could set up the run by using the pass. And so I look
That's
at
the
the
most
Titans.
vague statement ever.
Well, I mean, you got to remember, like a PlayStation 2, there's only so many things you could stick in there that John could say before, you play like 2 games and all of a sudden it's the same thing over and over again. I get still burned into my memory how if you run with Steve McNair in Madden 2001 had Dante Culpepper on the cover, if you would run with Steve McNair, every time after the play was over, you'd hear Pat Summerall go, "What do you think of Steve McNair, John?" And then Madden would talk about how he's like a good running quarterback. And it was the same every time. But, it was a different era. So, anywho, my point being is that in order to run the ball on the Eagles, I almost feel like the Titans are going to have to use the pass to set up the run. Because every team in the league knows the Titans are trying to run the ball. And I don't know if you guys have noticed, since the Kansas City game, every team in the league has stopped the Titans running the ball. It's been one thing to sit there and say, hey, everybody knows we're going to run it, but damn it, we're going to show you and we're going to run it and we're going to play bully ball and which is how the Titans want to operate. But the reality of what has happened is they really haven't been able to do that.
But
now,
it's not like the Packer game. Derrick Henry didn't get anything going. He had 80-something yards against the Packers.
Derrick had an okay game against the Packers. The run was effective against the Packers.
It wasn't a 150-yard Derrick game, but it wasn't like Derrick Henry got stuffed at the line of scrimmage on every single down.
So, 2 thoughts on that. The first thought is the Eagles are much better than the Packers.
True.
Defensively especially. And secondly, Derrick was effective enough to set up the pass in the Packers game. I don't know if Derrick's running performance against the Packers would be good enough to set up the pass against the Eagles.
That's fair.
So then the pass, again, has to set up the run in order for them to run it. But Dingus calling the plays is going to run in there, Jeff Swaim on every time that they're going to try to run it because I know how they operate. I know how Todd Downing operates. That he's sitting there and he's like, as obvious as it may be, that the Eagles' weakness apparently is yards per carry, and the Titans are going to have to run the ball, and everybody on the planet knows they're going to have to run the ball, and they just signed Linval Joseph and Ndamukong Suh, and Jordan Davis is probably going to play. Mm-hmm. And so the Eagles are going to load that box just like Cincinnati did. Todd Downing's going to stick Jeff Swaim right back out there on the field on first down. Vrabel on his coach's show, his key offensively was to stay on schedule, which means, 2nd and 6 instead of 2nd and 9. Mm-hmm. Well, if everybody knows you're going to run it and you run it, you have the best back on the planet, and it doesn't matter because everybody knows what you're going to do. And so then you have to say, okay, well, is Downing going to use the pass to set up the run? Most important play of the Green Bay game. First 3rd down they faced, they chucked the ball down the field to Treylon Burks. because now Green Bay's like, oh, crap, they just threw the ball deep. That set up the run for the whole rest of the game. And every time they needed a big throw, Tannehill hit it. Against Cincinnati, they really didn't do any of that.
No.
And so they hit the one throw down the field, and they got the roughing the passer, and then Todd Downing just brought the big boys back in there, and Cincinnati knew what they were doing, and because Cincinnati on the defensive line is much better than the Packers, and the Eagles are more like Cincinnati than they are like the Packers, the Titans ended up kicking a field goal. So, I mean, I hear you, but TD's right. He says they absolutely have a chance. It just doesn't seem like I have faith in where that chance would come from because of why I feel like the running game has been slowed down as much lately. Phone lines are driven by WilsonCountyHunter.com. 615-737-1025 on a Fireball Hot Take Friday. What do we have?
David in Arkansas checks in and says, should we really ask ourselves if or why the Vrabel special is dead? It's because of Downing. It all goes back to him. Vrabel can get these guys ready, but if his own OC isn't performing well, it's going to look bad on everyone. I believe that the Vrabel special is still there. It's just got to coach better, as Vrabel says.
Okay, so the Titans are a 7-4 football team, and every single person in town hates Todd Downing.
Yes.
And I am certainly in that group. It's actually funny, you know, we kind of asked Coach Shoop about this on Tuesday, and then I kind of asked TD about this yesterday.
Yeah.
You know, like the snap counts and the why does Traylon Burks play 67% of the snaps when AJ under Arthur Smith as a rookie was playing 90% of the snaps, and nobody really has an answer. I mean, even Bob Shoop, in like the most roundabout, non-direct way of criticizing Todd Downing, talked about how perhaps the Titans should have used, you know, they should have spread out the formations and put some faster people on the field and kind of run the RPOs.
Yeah.
And they didn't do it. And I thought that was a pretty big criticism, but it was just padded perfectly by Coach Shoop. Even TD, when I was asking him yesterday, he was like, yeah, I don't know. It's, you know. And so no one really knows why Todd Downing does this. But if Todd Downing were Arthur Smith, would their record be better than 7-4? And I only ask because when I look at the Titans, I see a 7-4 team. You know, most of the playoff contenders in the league are somewhere in that 8-3, 7-4, 6-5 range. And I know that if they had had better play calling, they could have beaten the Giants and they could have beaten the Bengals. And they probably could have beaten the Chiefs, though I thought Downing actually called a really good game against Kansas City. And yet, I think the Titans are a 7-4 team. I think they have a 7-4 quarterback. I think they have a below 7-4 offensive line. I think they have below 7-4 receivers. I think they've got, when healthy, a championship-level defense. But right now, without Danico Autry, it's not a championship-level defense. I think they're about a 7-4 team. So as much as we bang on Downing, and I'm certainly doing a lot of that too, I do wonder, would they be significantly better with Arthur Smith as the coordinator?
I think we'd feel better about it.
I'd feel better about it. But it's just something I don't
think
thinking about
that
when you read that text.
I don't think that they beat the Bills if Arthur Smith is calling offensive plays.
No.
But
I don't think they beat the Chiefs either.
Maybe, probably not. No,
I mean,
not with Malik in there.
Man.
The problem against the Chiefs was not the offensive play calling. It was who was under center. But, I mean, I'd feel much better about this team.
Would they have beaten the Bengals with a better play caller?
Probably.
I don't know, man. It's not the play caller's fault they hit the snapper in the head.
I know, and it's not the play caller's fault that they missed a field goal.
And it's not the play caller's fault that Joe Burrow put that ball right there on that dime to T. Higgins.
That's what Joe Burrow does.
Would they have beaten the Giants with a better play caller?
Probably.
Now remember, the play caller did get them in range to kick the field goal and they missed it.
But don't you think a lot of play callers in this league could get them in field goal range?
I mean, I thought the Titans freaking stunk up that Giants game of their own. I mean, I thought defense stunk it up. I thought special teams stunk it up. I thought the play calling was predictable. I didn't think Downing was terrible in that game. I certainly don't think he was the biggest problem in that game. But I'm going to say no on that one. The one that they could have had with a better play caller is Cincinnati. That's the one. So they could be 8-3 as opposed to 7-4. Now, look, 8-3 and 7-4, totally different. Totally different. Especially with a win over Cincinnati, who's probably going to win that division, even though their schedule is freaking brutal down the stretch, and Baltimore's is, easy. Baltimore, I just don't think is very good. And so now if Cincinnati ends up in that slot, and they probably will, now you lose the tiebreaker to them. Now you have to play Buffalo or Miami or whoever is the top wild card team there. 615-737-1025 is the phone number, 615-737-1025. This Eagles game represents something that the Titans are running out of chances for. I'll explain what that is. Hey, Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Those are my guys. They take fantastic care of my home, and they can do the exact same for you. Hiller is giving away cash for the holidays, and they're celebrating from now until the end of the year with special deals. Hiller wants to make sure every child experiences the joy of Christmas this year, and they're donating $50 in Toys for Tots with every tankless water heater purchase. And they're giving away a $250 Visa gift card with each unit. Get a $500 Visa gift card when you buy select new HVAC systems, or get a $500 Visa gift card with the purchase of any new whole home generator. They have more deals online at happyhiller.com. As always, Happy will be here. The service is free, and these deals are only available until the end of the year, so schedule today. That's Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical, proud supporters of the Preds, the Vols, and Vandy. Hiller, call the Happy Face Truck today.
Want a chance to win tickets to an upcoming Preds game?
Yes.
Tune in to Robbie and Rexroad every weekday Preds game day at 8:45 for Preds Pick to Click. Guess a goal scorer and win.
I'll take Roman Yossi.
Matt Bouchane.
Pick to Click is brought to you by TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty. Visit tjandersonhomes.com to see why they are referred so often. And by Superbook Sports, voted #1 sportsbook in Vegas. Download their app today.
Preds Pick to Click.
We are 102.5 and 106.3. The Game.
Need cash for the holidays or to pay off credit cards right now? Loan Pronto's all-new Express Equity Line of Credit program is just what you need. This is great. You can keep your low mortgage rate and still get cash out. That's right. You don't have to do a full home refi. You can tap a small portion of the equity you have and enjoy a super low rate. With Loan Pronto's Express Equity Credit Line, you can close in 7 to 10 days, and a $50,000 loan will come your way, and it only costs you around $300 a month. Use that money to pay off whatever bills you have, credit cards, consolidate other debt, or start a home improvement project. With Loan Pronto, you can access up to 95% of your home's equity, and 9 out of 10 homeowners won't even need the appraisal. Even if you did a total refi recently or just bought your home, you can tap the equity with this fast, easy program. Do it now before the holidays. Call Loan Pronto, 615-499-5780. That's 615-499-5780, or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166-1781, subject to lender approval.
Are you looking for Tennessee-grown and crafted THC, CBD, Delta-8, Delta-9 products? Then float on over to ounceofhope.com. On top of the widest selection of luxury edibles and smokables, their customer service team is high quality and prepared to help select the right cannabis product for your needs. Their knowledgeable team will have you flying high with a smile. That's ounceofhope.com, made locally in Memphis. Ounce of Hope is Memphis Flyers' best cannabis shop 2 years in a row. Legal THC delivered to your door. ounceofhope.com.
So I switched to Boost Mobile and got this free Samsung Galaxy A23 5G phone.
Why do you think they call it the Galaxy?
Maybe because the Samsung Galaxy A23 has a huge screen, and galaxies are huge gravitationally bound systems of stars rotating around a supermassive black hole.
And the phone is free?
When you switch to Boost Mobile.
Cool. You lost me at gravitationally bound.
Switch to Boost and get a free Samsung Galaxy A23 5G phone. Boost Mobile. Unleash your power. Limited time offer while supplies last. New customers only. Excludes tax. One device offer per line. Only available on certain networks. 5G not available everywhere. Additional restrictions apply. See your local Boost Mobile store for details.
The Sports Talk doesn't end on Friday. Join Michelle Knezovic and Junie Riddle for Michelle and Junie.
Have they truly been tested yet?
I really want this to be a good game.
Michelle and Junie, every Saturday morning at 9. Presented by Superbook Sports and the Nashville Gem Company.
I think Junie and I are going to go hit breakfast/brunch there after the show.
On 102.5 and 106.3, The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey, this is Ryan Johansson. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
You said yesterday you maybe weren't sure what the not beating the better teams on the schedule meant. I'm just wondering if overnight and kind of with some time to think about it, you have a better sense of that and if it's cause for concern.
I wouldn't say it's a cause for concern, but it is frustrating. Obviously, you go into these games against teams that, they're going to be there in the playoffs and we don't win those ball games. It's frustrating for us, frustrating as a team because we feel like we're one of those teams as well. We feel like we know that we're a really good team. We feel like we're going to be there in January. So to not beat those teams is disappointing at the time. But, I wouldn't say it's a cause for concern because, more than likely we'll see one of these teams, in January when we get to the playoffs.
There you go, Kevin Byard. I personally am glad this is not college football, where we don't look at it as like, oh, who have they beaten? What's their strength of schedule? Although the Titans have by far the lowest strength of victory of any contender in the AFC. So if they were to get to tiebreaker number 4, which is strength of victory, then that would be a legitimate problem.
But if we get to that point, then,
Well, it could be the difference between facing Cincinnati or the Jets in the first round of the playoffs.
Give me the Jets.
Okay. So I bring this up. This is one of the Titans' last chances. This and that Thursday nighter against Dallas right before the new year. These are the 2 chances to beat a good team. Every other good team the Titans have played, and the Commanders do not count as a good team because they got good as soon as they played the Titans when they switched the quarterback. Other than that, every other good team they have played, the Giants, the Bills, the Bengals, the Chiefs, they have lost to. As we brought up, there's yet to have been a Vrabel special. If the Titans can't beat the Eagles and the Cowboys, then does that damper our hopes come January for the playoffs? Let me go first. Yes.
Yeah.
I struggle with this. I am the biggest Titan fan you will find. I think everybody knows that, right?
Probably so.
Okay. 2 weeks ago, I believed in this team. I did. I really believed in this team. And right now, I'm like, if you can't beat the Eagles or the Cowboys, and then you're going to end up in the AFC playoffs, and you're probably going to draw Buffalo or Miami in the first round, and then if you get past that, you have to go to Cincinnati or you have to go to Kansas City. And then if you win that, then you have to go to Kansas City or you have to go to Buffalo or you have to go to Cincinnati. No.
Well,
no shot.
If the Titans can't beat the Eagles or the Cowboys, then I think we know exactly what the Titans are. And that's kind of how I feel about it now. You can beat the bad teams. You can't beat the good teams.
That's so not the Titans, though. That's what is so hard for me to understand. It would be like if I moved to a different city and started doing radio, and then it was like you were to talk to your friend in that city and you were to say, hey, how's Jared Stillman doing on, ESPN Sheboygan? And they're like,
Softy Bobo.
Yeah, he's just kind of a homer. It's not really interesting. They don't ever say anything flammable at all.
I have to take your temperature.
It's just, you'd be like, that's not Jared Stillman. And that's how I feel about the Titans. The Titans have played all these bad teams. They beat them. They played all the good teams, and they've lost to them. And I'm not used to that. Even when this team stunk Vrabel's first year, and I know they were 9-7, but this team kind of stunk Vrabel's first year. It's like, they would beat good teams, and then they go on the road, and this was back when Buffalo was bad. They would lose to Buffalo. And it was like, why? They would beat in 2019, the year they went to the AFC Championship game. They would beat Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City. They lost to Joe Flacco. It's so frustrating. They lost to Joe Flacco in 2018 and 2019.
That's bad.
They lost to Joe Flacco in 2018, lost to the Chargers in London, and then turned around, and this is when the Cowboys were good, and the Patriots were they were the wagon Patriots. And they went and beat them both and embarrassed the Patriots. And this year it's like, good team, loss. What do we have the text line? 615-737-1025.
One texter texts in and says the only way that this offense can go far is if they pass to set up the run. Something Vrabel and Downing are not committed to, unfortunately.
So I don't know why they're not. Because call me nuts about this. Number one, and I don't understand this at all. I need an offensive line guru to be able to tell me. I feel like the Titans' offensive line is a better pass-blocking offensive line than it is run-blocking offensive line.
I think it comes down to they don't trust something in the passing game. Whether that's they don't trust Tannehill to throw the football, which I don't think is necessarily the case. They don't trust the offensive line to pass block, or they don't trust the pass catchers to catch passes.
But
they don't trust something in the passing game.
But don't you think that they're a better pass-blocking offensive line than they are a run-blocking offensive line right now?
Right now, yes. Traditionally, like if I have to label this offensive line for the season, I would say they're a better run-blocking offensive line.
Let me pull through my filing cabinet here.
But like through the last 3 weeks, they've been a better.
I think they were 1-1 run pass. Like, I want to say that they were 50-50 run pass last week. Now, some of that is, they had they had a 2-minute drill at the end of the first half. And so you're not going to run Derrick Henry there. Hold on, let me see. Let's go to the back. They had 21 rushes and they had 34 passes.
Okay.
So they passed the ball more. Here's the thing.
It doesn't feel like Titans offense.
I don't mind the pass catchers they have. Like, this is going to be shocking because all anybody's ever done when it comes to passing the football with this team is complain, especially me last year. But, I mean, I think Treylon Burks is the big play guy as far as wide receiver is concerned.
Or at least has been the past couple of weeks.
He's the only guy that can take the top off the defense. He's the fastest guy they have. Westbrook Akine is second, and Westbrook Akine is more like catch him by surprise, throwing a flea flicker, than it is more so like he's going to go beat the corner down the field. Tannehill's going to put it up, and he's going to make a play. So Burks is the number one guy in that regard of taking the top off the defense. I think Austin Hooper is a great possession, move the chains tight end.
Dink and dunk tight end.
Love him. Perfect for the West Coast offense. You know, which is kind of a derivative of what the Titans run. That old Bill Walsh, George Seifert, West Coast offense, Mike Holmgren. Like, that is what the Titans run. And I think Hooper's got a great role. I think Downing was too stupid to figure out how to use him at the beginning of the year. I still think Downing is so stupid in the fact that he doesn't use him enough. But I see why Hooper wanted a trade. I get it. You know, again, we don't know that he wanted a trade. For certain. But we know that if ESPN was reporting that Hooper, to keep an eye on Austin Hooper at the trade deadline, we had a pretty good feeling that came from Hooper's people. And I get why Hooper was mad.
And one that you haven't named is Derrick Henry in the passing game.
So I don't really like Derrick Henry in the passing game.
Why?
Because he kind of stinks.
I don't think he stinks.
Oh, he stinks in the passing game.
I don't think he stinks. I don't know why.
And that's my point, is I go back to this. Again, I think the Titans should be a run-first team, and I'm not against that at all. And again, but clearly teams are going to take that away. So now the pass has to set up the run. And if you're going to use the pass to set up the run, you have to throw the balls to guys that can catch it and run with it. And Hooper can catch it and run with it. Burks can catch it and run with it. Okonkwo can catch it and run with it. And guess what? They don't play enough. And that seriously drives me freaking bananas. And so I agree. I think, wasn't the texter's point that Downing won't do it?
That Downing won't commit to passing to set up the run.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. Because trust me, 1st down and 10, Jeff Swaim's going in the game. I do wonder, I am hopeful that we can bully them out of playing Jeff Swaim. That's the only hope.
I don't know what their infatuation with Jeff Swaim is, both blocking and as a pass catcher. He can't catch passes. He can't do it. And against the Bengals, when that one play in the first quarter, when Treylon Burks is blocking for Jeff Swaim to catch a pass from 10, what are you doing? Why is your best wide receiver blocking while your quote-unquote best blocking tight end who can't catch a ball is catching passes?
Trick him.
Oh, good one.
So
Houdini.
Coach Shoop
That's
said
just
to me,
stupid.
Coach Shoop said to me, he's like, if you didn't tell me to watch 87, I would have not noticed 87. And I was like, well, he's like their blocking tight end, they say. He goes, I notice people blocking too. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. We'll get back into it. Plus, last night, I thought one thing was proven about the AFC playoffs in that Buffalo New England game. And it's kind of depressing me. We'll get to that coming up next. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. Fireball Hot Take Friday. Fireball Cinnamon Whiskey goes down so smooth that it tastes so great. Everybody wants to have the best holiday party. I know, because you all sit there and post on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and Mastodon and all these other new ones. I don't know. You all post about how much you guys love your holiday parties and your sweater parties and everything else. Don't be the party that doesn't have Fireball. Just let me be honest with everybody out there. Even if you don't love Fireball, and you should, even if you don't love Fireball, don't be the party that doesn't have Fireball. You don't know how many times you'll get to celebrate with the ones you love and enjoy. So be sure to enjoy with Fireball. Enjoy responsibly and be 21 years or older to enjoy. That's Fireball Cinnamon Whiskey, Stillman & Company, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
Want the latest on college football and Nashville sports?
He looks like 1,000 quarterbacks I've seen in a college game.
Join Outkick 360's Chad Withrow every Friday at 5 with Stillman & Company.
The coaching staff kept him and got rid of the other guys.
They'll bring opinions and charisma for a full half hour every week.
If he's so great in the locker room, then give him a coaching gig.
Chad Withrow is presented by Two Rivers Ford. Custom order your new Ford from Two Rivers Ford on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center, I'm Fox 17 News Code Red meteorologist Greg Bobus forecast for us here going into the afternoon. Mainly cloudy and a few isolated rain showers are possible. High temperatures upper 50s to near 60 degrees. Rain really settles in overnight tonight into tomorrow.
Brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Hey, it's Jared from my official sportsbook app, the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Football season is underway, so now is the perfect time to download FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get a no-sweat bet up to $1,000. That's free bets back if your first bet doesn't win if you sign up with the promo code JGM. FanDuel has all of your favorite bets, from the money line to point spreads to player props, and you can combine your bets for a chance at a bigger payout with the same game parlay. Get paid and get your winnings fast. All in an app that's safe, secure, and easy to use. Titans and Eagles. Give me A.J. Brown under receiving yards, and give me Derrick Henry under rushing yards. So sign up today with the promo code JGM for your no-sweat first bet. That's promo code JGM. And make every moment more this season with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the National Football League. 21 and older in present Tennessee. First online real money wager only, and your refund is issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire in 14 days. Restrictions do apply. Please see terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Please call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789.
It's electric in Smashville. The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Local 429 has a new path to a dignified career. Local 429 is accepting applications for the highest skilled electricians and linemen and is providing the best training in Middle Tennessee. They are the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Local 429. Call them at 615-889-4429 or go online to ibew429.org. IBEW Local 429, your proud seventh man since the beginning. Go Preds.
Hey, it's Chase McCabe, and every season is screwball season in my house. No matter the time of year, that rich, smooth taste just hits the spot. Y'all know Screwball. It's made with real whiskey, peanuts, and peanut butter, and it's just flat out delicious. It's my favorite. However you take it, as a shot, in an espresso martini, or a peanut butter old-fashioned, make it a Screwball peanut butter whiskey. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2022 Screwball Spirits LLC, San Diego, California. Whiskey with natural flavors, 35% alcohol by volume.
Chase McCabe.
You get a little fired up for that. Pads start popping.
Willie Donick.
And you're just thinking, this guy's unbelievable.
And Derek Mason.
Now I got to run a little bit faster so I don't get hit.
Chase, Willie, and D-Mace. Weekdays from 10 to 2 on Nashville's best sports talk, 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app. You're listening to Stillman and Company.
Sounds like this has been a game-changing day for all of us.
Presented by TriStar Moving on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and on the Game Nashville app.
Bills trying to turn it into a potential 3-possession lead. Singletary. Into the end zone he goes. Touchdown, Buffalo.
The Bills have taken advantage of it. Watch the job here by 71. The guard does a great job of clearing it out. Godchow has no chance. Opens up. Spencer Brown, the right tackle, also is able to get up, make a good block, and 3 times they've come away with touchdowns.
All right. Not really too much to say here. Just obviously just couldn't do enough tonight. Again, give Buffalo credit. They're a good football team. But we just couldn't do enough. So had some opportunities, but just nothing in particular. Just in general, not quite good enough in any area. Red area, offensively, they're making plays in the kicking game. So it's about the end of it.
We suck. Patriots are dead. So let me start with this. Did you watch the game last night?
Bits and pieces. I went back and forth between the Preds game and the Thursday night.
It was really freaking boring last night.
It was.
I thought that Buffalo, New England, Buffalo, New England on Thursday Night Football, I was like, all right. And then as I'm watching the game, I was rooting for the Patriots, obviously, because the more losses the Bills have, probably the better for the Titans. So I was rooting for the Patriots, and when they threw that ball to the defensive back and they scored that touchdown to go up, I was like, all right, Patriots. But I knew it probably wasn't going to last long, and it didn't. And I know that Buffalo only won by 14, but they could have won by 30 if they really wanted to. They just, honestly, Buffalo I don't even know if Buffalo's playing well right now, but the Patriots suck. And here's my big takeaway from this game. The AFC is now it's incredibly obvious who are contenders and who are pretenders. Tennessee, Kansas City, Buffalo, Cincinnati,
Baltimore.
Miami, Baltimore, and I think there's one more team in there I'm forgetting. Oh, and then there's a battle between the Jets and the Chargers as to like who's the last kind of phony team in there. And right now the Jets I think are technically ahead of the Chargers. The Chargers have better players, but the Jets I think are a more sound operation than the Chargers. But I think just like last year when Pittsburgh was the 17th in and they really weren't legit, I think that's what's happening here. So those 6 teams, Tennessee, Kansas City, Baltimore, Cincinnati, Buffalo, the Dolphins, and the Ravens. That's it. That's the AFC. And I think that was the one thing that I took away from last night's game. The one thing that came out of last night's game was that's it. New England, not a legitimate AFC team. Just like Indy, when in Indy plays, even though they suck, they'll put them in the hunt on the playoff thing or whatever. They're not in the hunt. And New England is technically in the hunt. They're not in the hunt. No. Get them out. Goodbye. See you. You stink. Move on. By the way, what a clown show that Patriots team is.
I mean, did you see the Mac Jones and what he was saying to Matt Patricia?
That's where the clown show is.
I mean, the offensive play calling and the whole preseason, not telling who's the offensive coordinator, the play calling itself. I mean, the fact that Mac Jones very clearly hates the play caller. I mean, it's just kind of it's a total mess.
Here's how much of a clown show I think
feels disorganized.
Here's where I use like the phrase clown show and how I think that Mac Jones, Matt Patricia thing adequately is defined as a clown show. Because the idea that you were going to bring Matt Patricia, a lifelong defensive coach, and Joe Judge, a special teams coach, who's also a bozo, and you were going to bring them in there to run this offense with a second-year quarterback is literally insane. Like, no other team in the league would do it because their owner would say to the coach, no, we're not doing that. If Mike Vrabel were to say, hey, we're going to make Jim Schwartz the offensive coordinator, which is essentially what Bill Belichick's doing, John Robinson and Amy Adams Strunk would say, no, you're not doing that. That is not going to fly here. And Vrabel probably wouldn't do it, even though if there's anybody other than Belichick who thinks, I can do it, it's Vrabel. But also Mac Jones mouthing off on the sidelines like that. Like, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot about all the Super Bowls you've won, Mac. I forgot about all the accomplishments you have in the NFL. Like, dude, you're not Brady. You can't go on the sidelines and you're not.
Is it about accomplishments, though? I mean, I think anybody can.
I do not think Mac Jones has the standing to be able to go curse out the coaches like that on camera.
I don't think you need to have a Super Bowl MVP or do a ring to be able to say, this isn't working.
I think there's a way to do it, though.
Fair.
And every quarterback. Mac Jones has been the starting quarterback in a high-profile job for the last 3 years. He knows when the cameras are on. And he knows that when he's on the sidelines, that he knows the cameras are on. So for him,
thinking about, though, in a heated moment in the middle of a game, are you thinking, oh, this is going to look bad for my PR?
So Steve Kerr said that when he hit the 97 shot against Utah to win the NBA Finals, that there's like a video that NBA Films has where they're in a timeout, and Michael turns over to Kerr, and he puts the Gatorade cup over his mouth, and he whispers something, and Kerr's like, yeah, if they double you, I'll be available there for the shot. And Michael just looks at him, just nods, because Michael knows the camera is always on him. And so Michael Jordan didn't want anybody to know that his plan was, I'm going to throw out of a double team to Steve Kerr. And Steve Kerr is like, yeah, I'll be wide open over there on the double team if they jump, whatever. And because Steve Kerr's
you not sell it.
Steve Kerr's not thinking about the camera.
Right.
Whereas Michael Jordan is like, dude, shut up. And so I do think that those guys think about it like that. Now, when Brady goes off on the sidelines, I think it's because Brady doesn't care. But Brady doesn't have to care because he's Brady. Like when Peyton Manning, have you seen that blow up with him and Jeff Saturday years ago? So when Peyton Manning did that, if you go back to that and watch the breakdown of that, it was apparently running off the field that Saturday turned to Manning and said, hey, we need to start running the ball more. Because Peyton would go up to the line with a run and a pass, and he would decide what to run. And so Saturday was mad that they threw 3 straight passes, and they had to kick a field goal. And so Saturday mouths off to Peyton on his way off the sidelines about needing to run the ball. Peyton sat down and then decided he was still mad, got up, and then went down to the offensive line and yelled at Jeff Saturday. Well, Peyton Manning is Peyton Manning. So, like, he thought about it, and then he went and did it. That is premeditated. Those guys can do it. Even Tannehill has accomplished enough. Like, he's got a strong enough standing that if Tannehill wants to ream somebody out on the sidelines, he's earned it. I don't think Mac Jones has earned the ability to ream his coaches out on national TV. Like, I think that was rich and that's why it's a total clown show, because the whole thing's messed up. But I do not think that Mac Jones has earned the right to be able to do that. But I feel bad for him because they're going to ruin his career. I mean, you talk about a freaking clown show, that Patriots offense. So they're done. So
they're done.
Again, and what matters is who you may play in the wild card round. There's one team in the wild card round that, whether it's the Jets or the Chargers, that I would sign up for today. Because I think we know the Titans aren't getting the 1 seed, so they're not going to have the bye. So they have to play in the wild card round. And now everybody else is going to make the playoffs. The Ravens are going to make the playoffs. The Dolphins are going to make the playoffs. The Titans are going to make the playoffs. The Bills are going to make the playoffs. They're all going to make it. And so now the question is, do you want either Cincinnati or Baltimore, the loser of Cincinnati and Baltimore, the loser of Miami and Buffalo, or would you rather have the Jets?
Jets, please.
Or would you rather have the Chargers?
Chargers, please.
That's the AFC playoffs. Whatever in the text line, 615-737-1025.
One texter texts in and says, it doesn't matter how long you've been in the league. When you're upset, you're upset.
Yeah, I don't think that's how people view it. Baseball's kind of similar with this. And I think also, I think all the sports are similar with this. If you're a rookie and no one knows who you are, don't yell at the refs. If you don't have sway, don't yell at the refs. A.J. Brown on Sunday, if he thinks he's getting held, he can do whatever he wants in front of the refs because he's A.J. Brown and he's been there and done that. If nobody knows who you are, you're a practice squad guy or something, don't screw with the refs. Like in baseball, the way Bryce Harper can treat the umpire about a ball or a strike call, a little bit different than the way the guy that just got called up from the sounds can treat him. And so, again, Mac Jones, I get it. He's a starting quarterback. And this is like when they always say, that you set the example for those that come after you. He knows the last quarterback there used to scream at people on the sidelines. So he knows that is, but you ain't Brady. And you're not Manning. And I do not think that Mac Jones, and look, I think they're ruining his career.
But there are plenty of other quarterbacks who have yelled at the coaches who aren't Manning or Brady.
No, but what has Mac Jones done? Like, is Mac Jones even a legitimate NFL starter?
You used to love Mac Jones.
He made the Pro Bowl last year. But Mac Jones, at this point, Mac Jones may not be in their plans next year. Just like how, what's his name? Zach Wilson. The Jets are done with him. You don't bench the second overall pick and then say, no, we still believe in. This is not 1974. This idea of, hey, Terry Bradshaw, we're playing Joe Gilliam ahead of you, but we still believe in you. No, sir. They're done with Zach Wilson. You do not bench the number 2 overall pick if you're not done with him. So, and Zach Wilson, you know why Zach Wilson got benched, right?
Why?
He didn't get benched because he sucked. He got benched because at the press conference, they asked if he felt any responsibility because the defense played so well, and he said no, and the defense and everybody in that locker room got mad
at him. Yeah.
So the Jets, and this is why the Jets are a bad organization, the Jets benched their starting quarterback over what he said in the press conference. You see what I'm saying?
I hear you.
Now, if somebody were to say, if Brady were to have a bad game for the Buccaneers and the defense were to play well, and they were to say, hey,
is it your response? He would say 100%, absolutely.
Well, I don't mean that, but like the entrenched starter. If the entrenched starter, Tannehill, Tannehill didn't take any responsibility for that Bengals loss, and we were furious about it, Titans just completely looked the other way. The players, the coaches, everything. But if you don't have the standing in the organization, you can't do stuff like that. And I don't think Mac does, considering they've already benched him in a game this season. So, but it's a clown show.
Did they bench him or was he injured?
I mean, if you play.
I'm just saying.
I didn't want to get everybody all mad at me
erring on the
today.
side of caution rather than getting benched.
I didn't want to get everybody all mad at me. He started, and then he threw an interception. They took him out. Oh, yeah, you're too hurt to play now that you threw that interception right to the other team.
I'm just saying.
Aaron Rodgers was on the McAfee show, and I didn't cut this and, didn't have a topic about it because their Titans are playing the Eagles and, everything. Well, Aaron Rodgers was like talking about how, if I can go, I go. That's why I play with a broken finger and I'm bad oblique and everything. I believe in the NFL. If you can lace it up on Sunday, if you're the competitor and you believe in competitive greatness, you give it a go. And I thought to myself, I was like, I know somebody who didn't give it a go.
Oh, since when do we use Aaron Rodgers as the voice of wisdom?
Aaron Rodgers doesn't miss games now, other than when he broke his collarbone. 615-737-1025. A miracle last night. A miracle, I tell you. We'll get to that next. TriStar Moving, those are my official movers. I love TriStar Moving. Every time somebody asks me, hey, you got a moving company? I wonder if they're asking me that because they know that TriStar Moving is my official movers, and they're wondering if I can get them a deal or not. Every time I'm like, just get a bid from TriStar. Because if you do get a bid from TriStar, you will feel like you're getting a deal. And you'll get to know their sales staff. They're excellent. I mean, this is, when I talk about TriStar Moving, I am telling you top to bottom, they are a 5-star operation. That's why their motto is TriStar Moving with 5-star service. Again, move with TriStar, just like I did. I love those guys. Get a bid. Moving's expensive, and you get 10% off when you tell them I sent you. So that's like getting a super deal. And so, again, give them a call, 615-640-1219 or NashvilleMoving.org/radio. They'll give you 10% off your entire move. That's TriStar Moving, 615-640-1219, NashvilleMoving.org/radio. Tell them Jared Stillman sent you for 10% off your entire move. TriStar Moving, my official movers.
You watch the game. We talk the game.
The college football playoff rankings, Tennessee, the #1 team in the country.
We are the game. Nashville's best sports talk. 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
How to say I love you without words and make your money go further this year? A beautiful piece of jewelry from Genesis Diamonds, and we're making it easy with 0 interest financing. That's right. While interest rates are on the rise everywhere else, at Genesis Diamonds, we're lowering rates all the way down to 0% with 0 down. This is in addition to Genesis' amazing, unbeatable value prices. How about a 5-carat diamond bracelet for only $85 a month? Or a luxury pre-owned Rolex Submariner or Datejust? Pay nothing down and spread the cost over 5 years. Everything's included in this amazing holiday offer, but this is only through December 12th, so shop early. Unique designer jewelry, colored gemstones, classic diamond studs, handcrafted engagement rings starting as low as $35 a month with 0 down. Even our GIA certified diamonds are included. Let Genesis help you find that remarkable gift for the season and enjoy low payments and 0% financing for 5 years with no money down. Merry Christmas from Genesis Diamonds, Green Hills and Cool Springs on approved credit.
Open Sundays till Christmas.
Vanderbilt fans, your flagship home for the broadcast of football and men's basketball is 93.3 Classic Hits. And for the weekly Commodore Hour featuring head coach Jerry Stackhouse, tune in to 94.9 The Fan on Monday nights at 6 p.m.
Looking for a career with purpose or have that passion for youth development? Boys and Girls Clubs of Middle Tennessee provides a safe place where youth gain the tools to learn, lead, and reach their full potential. And that starts with you, offering competitive pay and free after-school care for employees. Learn more at bgcmt.org.
Without the ones like you who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you 24/7 with supplies and solutions for every industry and access to product specialists ready to help. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
312 Pizza Company is the official sponsor and location of Southeastern Carolines with Caroline Fenton.
Live from the Game Nashville studios. WPRT-FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne. Nashville's exclusive home for the Nashville Predators. 102.5 and 106.3.
A gunny performance.
Do your job.
And the Tigers regain the lead.
The Game.
A Cromwell Media Station.
Where you have a voice.
We're one play away from an injury. He knows this. He's a study of the game.
And we have strong opinions.
He's been awful. I don't think they were trying, and that's why I feel the way I feel.
This is Stillman and Company with Jared Stillman and Caroline Fenton. Presented by TriStar Moving on Nashville's best sports talk. 102.5 and 106.3 The Game. And on the Game Nashville app.
Johansson up ahead, can't find Duchesne, intercepted by Heeshear, but tapped down by Duchesne. Vanacek out of the goal to play it. Duchesne wins it. Matt Duchesne recovers the puck. One-man show to the middle. Johansson scores! Preds win! Ryan Johansson from Matt Duchesne, 33 seconds into overtime. Give me 2 goals in the final 45 seconds of the game. Preds beat the Devils 4-3.
Man, they're going to need to get one of those little oxygen masks for Max. You know, after that, like on the sidelines where they got
Gonna need like CPR.
Is Max okay? Yeah, he's all right. Preds win in miraculous fashion. Stillman and Company, delivered by TriStar Moving. Fireball Hot Take Friday. And streaming live on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook Live. Thanks to the offices of Amanda J. Gentry. A miracle! That was a miracle last night at the Prudential Center. Now, let me tell you how my night went. I turned on the game, but you know how they take forever to drop the freaking puck?
Yes.
So-
It's all the pomp and circumstance before.
So I was listening to the Pat McAfee show, Aaron Rodgers' interview on the Pat McAfee show, and that goes on forever. And so I was listening to that, and I just had the TV muted waiting for puck drop, and then I looked up, it's 1-0 because they scored 11 seconds into the game. Then I did see them score again, and so then I'm like, wow, 2-0 over the second best team in the NHL, arguably
nice.
the best team in the NHL. They're up 2-0. Then I flipped to the state championship game. Chris Sanders and NBA, they lost to Baylor last night. They were playing on Channel 30, so I flipped over for, couldn't have been longer than 2 minutes. I flip it back, and it's 3-2 Devils. And I texted Robbie. I'm like, what the hell happened? He's like, yeah, they gave up 3 goals in 4 minutes. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. So then I watched the whole rest of the game, and I watched, Roman Josi take the most ridiculous. I watched Tanner Jeannot celebrate hitting the post. I watched Roman Josi take the worst penalty, a 2-minute men on the ice penalty with 2:40 to go down by a goal. I'm like, wow. So now you're going to be a man down for 2 minutes. You're going to have 46 seconds left of even strength. Like, that is a horrendous penalty to take at that moment.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a bad penalty. And I'm like, great. Here you go. Devils are going to win this game. Okay. And then, coach puts out the, Lozon out there, and I'm like, well, obviously they're not going to be aggressive enough. They let New Jersey sit around, just pass it to each other. It's like watching a World Cup match. Like, they're just passing it around to each other and not moving with the puck. And Willie's like, on the TV broadcast, he's like, it looks like the Devils are playing keep away here. I'm like,
yes,
I know.
That's exactly what they're doing.
And so they're playing keep away, and I'm like, oh, God. And then they scored the Granlund goal, and I was like, holy crap, they tied the game. At first, I thought it might have been goalie interference just because the camera moves so quickly, and you see the goalie on his ass, and you see the puck in the net, and Granlund's right there in the crease, and I'm like, please tell me this is not goalie interference. Then they show the replay. I'm like, it's absolutely not goalie interference. Not even close. And you could tell New Jersey thought about challenging it, and they were like, probably shouldn't. And then they get into overtime, and Matt Duchesne makes a great play on the boards, and they end up getting the goal to Johansson. They win the game, and I'm like, wow, this team that I have no faith in, zero, this team just went on the road and beat arguably the best team in the NHL. Now, here's my theory behind
Their
this.
first loss in like a month and a half.
I mean,
that's pretty insane.
It's-
They don't lose at home.
You talk about something I didn't expect.
Not at all.
I mean,
I
the
was
way
so
they were playing.
pessimistic going into that game.
So it's not even going into the game. You take a 2-minute penalty with 2:46 to go, and it be that bad of a penalty, and it's your captain who does it. It's like, oh, you're screwed. And then you run Jeremy Lozon out there, and yet you still find a way to win. But I have a theory. And one win is not going to change my overall outlook on the team. But I do have a theory. And my theory is this. I do not believe in the Predators. Like, as far as could make the playoffs and then win a playoff series and, let's just call it how it is, contend for the cup. I don't buy it, don't believe it, don't think there's really any real chance that happens. But that's just my opinion. They think they can. Now, I know when I'm being bullcrapped, and I know when somebody is telling me the truth. When they sit there and they say, like, no, we think we're good enough to compete, and we believe it, and I'm telling you, they think they can. Somebody asked me earlier this week, was like, why are people so mad And I was like, because, after last year, the team promised everybody that they were going to be good, and most people are skeptical that that is the truth. And it was like, just give us a chance. I'm like, we're past Thanksgiving here. So my theory
just
is,
because you're past Thanksgiving doesn't mean that you can just give up completely on the team.
No, but as far as competing for the cup, do you think they're going to compete for the cup?
Not compete for the cup.
Do you think they're going to win a playoff series?
No.
Okay. So, but again, they do. They think it.
They should.
And it's one thing for them just to be house organing me. It's another thing that it's no, we believe, Jared. I promise you, we believe. And I'm just standing there with my arms crossed I don't believe. But guess what? You win games like that last night. You win more of those kind of games. You got one tonight. That'll get people to believe you win last night. No matter how miraculous it was, no matter how impossible, that will never happen again for this team, where they take a 2-minute penalty with 2:46 to go in the game, and they still find a way to score within the last 10 seconds and then score in overtime against one of the best teams in the league. That is never going to happen again. That will not happen against Colorado. That will not happen against Boston.
Why?
Because it's improbable. This team can't score on a power play. You think they're going to score with an empty net?
It's not impossible.
I didn't say impossible. I said improbable.
I know, but you said it's not going to happen again.
It's not. That they take
I'm not counting it.
That they take a 2-minute penalty with 2:46 to go in the game, down by a goal against one of the best teams in the league, and find a way to win.
Very improbable.
That's how the Jets beat the Browns, where they were down by 14.
You're also assuming that that's going to happen. That they're going to be down a goal and take a 2-minute penalty with 2:46 left in the game.
So the Jets beat the Browns in week 2.
What are the odds of that happening again?
The Jets beat the Browns in week 2. They were down by 14 points under the 2-minute warning with no timeouts. They scored a touchdown. Joe Flacco hit Corey Davis for a touchdown. They kicked an onside kick. They got it. They scored a touchdown. They won in overtime. Now, do you ever think, down 2 touchdowns, under 2 minutes to go, that Joe Flacco will ever win another game in his NFL career doing that?
Probably not.
Even if he was still a starting quarterback.
I don't trust many quarterbacks, if any quarterbacks, to be able to do that.
No, you have to get the onside kick back.
Right. You have to score, get the onside kick back, score again, and then go into overtime and then win.
So you have to kill off a 2-minute penalty against one of the best teams in the league.
Uh-huh.
And then you have 47 seconds with an empty net. You have to score, and then you have to score again on that great team in overtime.
Yeah, but are they going to be in that same position again?
Probably not.
So,
if they are, so you won't see it. But like I said,
you're getting mad at the Preds about doing something that they already did.
No, I'm not mad about it. What I'm telling you is that what happened, I don't believe. But no matter what I say, if they keep winning games like that, as improbable as it is, if they go win against good teams like that, then more people will start to believe what they believe.
For sure.
What they believe is that they think that they're a good team. And I don't want to speak for everybody, I'm definitely speaking for me here, but what I contest is that they are not a good team, that they are a below average team. That's what I think. But if you go out there, you beat New Jersey, then you turn around and you beat the Islanders, more people are going to start to believe that you're a good team.
Yeah.
And so, hey, like I said, I don't think we'll see that out of this team again, what we saw last night, but can't knock them for it. I was stunned last night. Corey Curtis, News 2. What are the Titans going to do without Cody Hollister in the lineup? I just don't know. The Titans are 4.5-point dogs against the Eagles, but they haven't beaten any good teams. Corey Curtis, News 2, will join us coming up next. 615-737-1025 if you want to get in. 615-737-1025. Hey, tune in for the pregame show this Sunday, live from Twin Peaks in Cool Springs at 1643 Galleria Boulevard. Join me and the former Titans receivers Chris Sanders and Derek Mason from 9:30 to 11 prior to the Titans and the Eagles. And the pregame show is brought to you by TriStar Moving, Parman Tractor and Equipment, Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey, Superbook Sports, and Ounce of Hope Cannabis Company. And be sure to catch the Eddie George Show featuring Jonathan Hutton on 102.5, 106.3 The Game Monday at 6 o'clock, live from 6th and Peabody. The Eddie George Show is brought to you by Low T Centers and Xander Insurance. Xander gives you more options, and more options means more savings for you. Free quote at XanderInsurance.com.
Every Wednesday at 8:45. Join Robbie and Rexroad for The Choice is Yours.
2 sports questions, 2 non-sports questions.
They'll answer a couple of questions about life and sports. The Choice is Yours is built by Jarrett Companies. You have a choice. So when you have a need for site and utility work, fire protection, concrete and asphalt services, the choice is simple. It's Jarrett Companies. For more, visit JarrettCompaniesInc.com. The Choice is Yours. Wednesdays at 8:45 on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
When joint pains cause you to sit out on everyday activities, it's time to make an appointment with Dr. Matthew Beal at Houston Clinic Orthopedics. Dr. Beal can diagnose your problem and treat the joint pain for both surgical and non-surgical matters. Board certified and fellowship trained, Dr. Beal specializes in hip, knee, joint replacement, and adult joint reconstruction. Visit tn.houston.com to learn more about Dr. Beal and to book an appointment online. Houston Clinic Orthopedics, when experience matters.
There's never a good time for your furnace to go out, especially in the winter, but it's always a good time to call Lee Company. Our heating and air conditioning pros are available 24/7. No heat? Don't wait. Call Lee Company now at 615-567-1000. Our expert technicians will diagnose the issue and fix it right the first time. When you're cold, you need someone you can count on to bring the heat. Call Lee Company now at 615-567-1000 or visit leecompany.com.
Need cash for the holidays or to pay off credit cards right now? Loan Pronto's all-new Express Equity Line of Credit program is just what you need. This is great. You can keep your low mortgage rate and still get cash out. That's right. You don't have to do a full home refi. You can tap a small portion of the equity you have and enjoy a super low rate. With Loan Pronto's Express Equity Credit Line, you can close in 7 to 10 days, and a $50,000 loan will come your way, and it only costs you around $300 a month. Use that money to pay off whatever bills you have, credit cards, consolidate other debt, or start a home improvement project. With Loan Pronto, you can access up to 95% of your home's equity, and 9 out of 10 homeowners won't even need the appraisal. Even if you did a total refi recently or just bought your home, you can tap the equity with this fast, easy program. Do it now before the holidays. Call Loan Pronto, 615-499-5780. That's 615-499-5780, or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
This holiday season, tee it up at Edwin Watts Golf Shops for the hottest gifts from Titleist and Bushnell. Elevate your performance with Titleist TSR drivers designed to maximize distance. While you're there, grab a dozen Pro V1 or Pro V1X golf balls. And from Bushnell, save up to $75 on the Tour V5 and Tour V5 Shift rangefinders. We also have gift cards for those favorite golfers on your list. Don't miss these holiday gifts and more happening now at Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee.
So, you think you know whiskey? Oil Fire, a dangerously seductive spirit, is finally here. You will like it. She will love it. Oil Fire 70 proof whiskey. There is nothing like it.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Thinking about gas mileage. You know, changing your oil with a full synthetic oil like Pennzoil Platinum can help your engine get more miles. Right now, you can get 5 quarts with an STP extended life oil filter for only $38.99. Get everything you need for better fuel efficiency at any of our 6,200 stores or on AutoZone.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
It's on. It's happening. Remember, you can watch us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter.
Get out of the way, I'm watching a game.
Presented by the law offices of Amanda Gentry. You're listening to Stillman and Company.
Presented by TriStar Moving.
102.5 and 106.3 The Game. And on the Game Nashville app.
Stillman and Company on a Fireball Hot Take Friday. Tell all the fine folks out there to play silly underdog picks today. Pick 3 football underdog teams you think will win this week for a chance to win great prizes. Play now at theGameNashville.com or the 102.5 The Game app. Silly Underdog Picks is presented by Volunteer Hose and Gasket and Superbook Sports. Go to the #1 sportsbook in Vegas. Download their app today. The Titans are 4.5-point underdogs at the Eagles on Sunday. And so it doesn't feel like one of these insurmountable Mike Vrabel special games. Corey Curtis joins us now from News 2. And yet, Corey, the Titans are yet to beat a good team this season, so I'm trying to figure out why Vegas has the number as low as they do at 4.5. Do you feel like the Titans have a legitimate shot to go up to Philadelphia and crack the Eagles?
Well, not only that, the number was 5.5. So that means the money is coming in on the Titans and the points, which is interesting. I mean, sure, the Titans can go up there and win. I don't think they should be favored to win, so I kind of agree with the line. But, I mean, how many times have we seen Mike Vrabel lead this team and win games where we think they got, like, no shot?
But they haven't done that this season.
No, I understand they haven't done it this season, but last year, what did they do? Go 8-1 against playoff teams?
Something like that. And this year's the opposite because they're 0-4 right now.
What good did it do them in the postseason? None. I'll just repeat what I've always repeated. It doesn't matter what you're playing like early in the season or the middle of the season. What matters is what you're playing like at the end of the season. And that's the biggest thing for the Titans, and they've got to continue to get better. And I say continue to get better. They've just got to get better in some areas if they're going to have a shot. And I worry about that much more than I worry about losing in overtime to the Chiefs, losing on a missed field goal to the Giants, and losing by one possession to the Bengals. I mean, you're right there. You're right there with those teams. So I'm not overly concerned about that.
Corey, I hear you're a little triggered up on the A.J. Brown revenge game this week.
Oh, no, not at all. Look, what I thought was funny, and the Philly media, I'm sure, plays into it, where A.J. says he feels like he already won. He won as soon as he got traded. I mean, he got what he wanted. And so it's going to be interesting to see how that weighs on him during the game, because I think he's a guy who is capable of trying to do too much. And we've seen in the past where if things go south for him in a game, it can affect him. And so I'm interested to see emotionally more how A.J. handles the football game than I do the Tennessee Titans, because I think that could be a bigger tell.
See, I believe that the Titans are going into this game. I think they do care about A.J. I think they do care about A.J.'s stats. I mean, I know they'll say, we don't care if A.J. has 500 yards as long as we win. And maybe there's some truth in that. But I do think that there's an element of this where the Titans know that the entire country thinks they made a bad trade by getting rid of A.J. Brown. I agree with you about A.J.'s emotion. I think A.J. is way more emotionally unstable than the Titans are as far as, their actions leading to the detriment. I guess my thing here is I think both teams will be affected by this. And Vrabel can say all he wants, that it's no different than any other player. I think that's ridiculous. I think the game will actually be affected by A.J. Brown and his anger towards the Titans, and the at least wanting to save a little face on that trade. Your thoughts?
I disagree, and for a number of reasons. I don't think the Titans would allow their feelings towards one player to necessarily affect their game plan. And as good as A.J. is, so don't get me wrong here, I'm not disrespecting A.J. Brown. Believe me, I wish he was still on the Titans and I was watching him play because he's a really talented player. If you focus your game plan on A.J. Brown, you're focusing it in the wrong place. You know how many 100-yard games he has? There were 6 last year. So, I mean, he's had some breakout games. I think they were against 2 bad teams. And it was the Lions and somebody else. And that's not to say you can't have them against good teams. Don't read things wrong. But I'm just saying A.J. is a complementary piece for them, okay? He makes plays off of the passing game and off the running game just like he did here. The strength of that football team is they have the best offensive line in the game right now. That's the strength of that football team and how they get things done. And they have a quarterback who has improved so much more than I could have ever believed. That, I've got total respect for Jalen Hurts, not just running the ball, but throwing the ball as well now. And that's where your game plan has to start. And if you don't start it up front and with Jalen Hurts, you're in for a really long day. You may shut A.J. Brown down, but you're going to lose 38-10.
So let me say this. Corey Curtis, who's our guest. I am not a Jalen Hurts believer. I think Jalen Hurts this year is 2020 Tannehill. I think he basically has everything around him that he needs to be successful. I think he's a good leader. I think he's smart. I think he adds the dynamic with his legs. I do not know if you can win a Super Bowl with Jalen Hurts. I am not a believer in Jalen Hurts. And I love Jalen Hurts' personality, but you sound like you've turned a corner on Jalen Hurts.
I have turned a bit of a corner because I was not a believer going into the season because I've watched games with him before this year where I'm like, I don't know. I'm not with everybody yet on that this guy's an elite player. But he has improved a lot. I mean, at Alabama,
Do you think he's an elite quarterback now?
I think it's too early to call him an elite quarterback. I don't put him in the Burrow, Mahomes, Allen territory yet, but he's right outside there the way he's playing. He's got to do it for more than half a season or 10 games.
Jalen Hurts or Justin Herbert?
I mean, I like them both. I do. And I wasn't a Justin Herbert believer when they drafted him. And then when I saw him play his rookie year, I was like, wow, this kid can swing it. So, both those guys have impressed me. Hurts to me is a lot like Josh Allen. I mean,
what?
Josh Allen,
what?
Josh Allen, his first 2 years in the league, I thought was awful. I mean, Josh Allen's first 2 years in the league, if he couldn't run the ball, he couldn't do anything because he couldn't pass. I mean, you could be standing in the end zone by yourself, and he would have missed you by 7 yards. I mean, he was not good. He was an athlete running around, making plays with his legs, once in a while connecting on the pass. But they put better players around him, like with Jalen Hurts. His accuracy got better. His understanding of the position got better. And he has improved so much. Those two guys have improved more at that position than any two guys I can remember from their rookie years. I mean, I've just been really impressed by the both of them. I mean, Hurts is what he got, 17-3 this year, touchdown to interception ratio.
Mm-hmm.
Now, again, you're right. And it's like I said, it helps to have the best offensive line in the game because you can run the ball and you've got time to throw and you've got two big-time targets to throw to. And he had Goddard before, too. So he's got everything he needs. But you know what he's also doing? He's doing it with everything he needs. The Jets put a lot around Zach Wilson, and he is still god-awful.
Fireball Hot Take Friday time, Corey Curtis. What you got?
You know what? I'm not going to fake it. I've got nothing but lukewarm takes this weekend right now. But, I did think of one before I came on that I thought would be like throwing a match on a stick of dynamite and throwing it in your bedroom. So I'm going to hit you with this. Caleb Sudak will be the Titans kicker for the next 8 years.
Oh, God. Missed a 35-yard kick. Guy stinks. Looks like Mega Man out there trying to kick. Thank you for that. Corey Curtis News 2, as always. That is a take. Good stuff, Corey.
Thank you.
Yep, Corey Curtis joining us on the program. Let me say this. I am certainly not a Caleb Shudak believer. I am not a Jalen Hurts believer. Now, I did follow him with what he was saying about Josh Allen, about how Josh Allen was terrible and now Josh Allen's good. But when he initially said that, he's kind of
I thought he meant that like Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen are comparable quarterbacks.
When he said that, my head almost exploded. I thought he was going to say something, like he's kind of like Dak Prescott because I think that's where Jalen Hurts belongs, like with Dak Prescott. Like Dak Prescott.
And before this season, I wouldn't have even said that.
No.
I would have said Jalen Hurts belongs like with Tua, which was last year.
I mean, I think Jalen Hurts and Tua have moved up.
This season have moved up the ranks.
But they ain't Joe Burrow. I mean, there's no.
You love Joe Burrow.
I love Joe Burrow. 615-737-1025 is our phone number, 615-737-1025. TD has an interesting theory on AJ. And I do think it is worth watching in the game on Sunday. We'll get to that coming up next. And remember, there's nobody that knows more about AJ than TD. Caroline, though, wants to tell us what the Caesar Sportsbook app.
Yep, it is time for the Caesar Sportsbook Report. Now, your first bet with the Caesar Sportsbook app. It is on Caesars up to $1,250. They've got you covered. Just sign up with the promo code RADIOFULL, one word, RADIOFULL, and then place your first bet. And if you win, go have fun with that money. It is all yours. But if not, don't worry about it. You'll get that stake back as a free bet. Now, the Caesar Sportsbook app has a very interesting odds boost going on. The LSU Tigers, the North Carolina Tar Heels, and the Purdue Boilermakers each cover plus 13.5 in their respective conference championship games at plus 750 odds. With those odds like that, it's worth taking a look at. Open to users in Tennessee who are 21 or older. If qualifying bet loses, bet amount returned as a credit. Most used within 14 days. See Caesars.com/promos for full terms. Gambling problem? Call or text the Tennessee Road Line at 1-800-889-9789. Caesars Sportsbook. You bet, you get.
This is Colton Sissons, and this is Smashville.
Leads now, Sissons coming on from the left circle, and Colton Sissons puts it in the net.
This is the flagship of the Nashville Predators radio network. ESPN 1025, The Game.
Now is a fantastic time to sell in Nashville, but you can't do it without the intel. And no one has better intel than the Gary Ashton team. You may be wondering, what is this intel I keep hearing about? Intel so you can sell your home without any staging or showings. Intel on where to find your next home so you can sell your current one while the market's hot. Intel that helps you win the buyer battle and cash in on your home equity now. Everyone else is getting the same information and competing for the same properties. GaryAshton.com gives you the edge with the best real estate intel in Nashville. No one else even comes close. Plus, the Gary Ashton team is the official real estate agent for the Preds. Get the confidence to sell your home and find your dream address without the stress. Call the Gary Ashton team with RE/MAX Advantage today at 615-301-1650 or visit GaryAshton.com. And remember, don't sell without the intel.
Winning this award is truly like winning the Super Bowl of car dealer awards for Mercedes-Benz.
Edwin Vickery, General Manager of Mercedes-Benz of Music City.
Culture, eat strategy for lunch. You have to hit on all cylinders to win this award. You can strategize all you want. You got to still have the right tools, and our tools are our people.
Live the dream with three-time Mercedes-Benz Best of the Best award winner, Mercedes-Benz of Music City. Go to mbofmc.com.
How would you like to come home to a bartender who will fix you any cocktail you want?
I'll have an old-fashioned.
I'll have a margarita.
Now you can with the Bartesian Home Cocktail Maker. Bartesian is a sleek machine the size of a coffee maker that makes premium cocktails at the touch of a button. Choose from over 50 different cocktails, from classics to the most exotic premium cocktails served in the best bars today. You'll always get freshly mixed, perfectly balanced cocktails with the Bartesian Cocktail Maker. And now get Bartesian's best Black Friday deal ever at bartesian.com/enjoy. Entertaining? The Bartesian is ideal for parties. No need to stock all kinds of individual mixers for complicated recipes. Every guest gets the cocktail of their choice in seconds. The Bartesian makes a wonderful gift for anyone who loves a fine premium cocktail. Now get Bartesian's best Black Friday deal ever. It's available right now, only at bartesian.com/enjoy. That's BARTESIAN.com/enjoy for Bartesian's best deal ever. Only at bartesian.com/enjoy.
Sunday, it's a doubleheader in the NFL.
Wilson for the Dolphins, touchdown. Jennings with the touchdown. Taylor, touchdown. Touchdown, Dallas.
First, the Dolphins battle the 49ers. Then, the Colts head to Dallas to take on the Cowboys on Sunday Night Football. Coverage begins at 2:45 on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey, Smashville, this is Sean Henry. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 1025 The Game.
I think there's probably a certain element if you're Sirianni where you want to make sure AJ knows, hey, we're getting you the ball, big fella.
There's a thing that you do, right, with receivers, and there's certain ones, Terrell Owens, Chad Johnson, Steve Smith, even Jerry Rice. You got to get these guys involved early. Oh, Randy Moss, especially Randy Moss, because he'll check out. I love Randy Moss. He's a GOAT. But if you don't get him involved early, T.O. too, like those guys will check out. So you got to get A.J. to football early. They have to find ways to get him involved. So that way you channel into that emotion that he has going on, that he's trying so hard to corral and keep under control. You got to make sure that he doesn't go through stretches where he gets frustrated. So absolutely, they're going to make sure he gets the ball.
TD says, hey, Steve Smith Sr., Ocho Cinco, Randy Moss, T.O. Let me say, all those guys, now he did mention Jerry Rice in there, but for the most part, all those guys, great receivers. Grew up with them, loved them. Great receivers. All incredibly emotional receivers. And they played it. Both good and bad. AJ, I would agree, is a very emotionally charged wide receiver.
Probably fair.
AJ can say all he wants. This game on Sunday is not personal. It's absolutely personal. We all saw it unfold on Twitter. If it wasn't personal, AJ would not have tweeted out what he tweeted out during the Kansas City game about the wide receivers not being able to get open. So we know it's personal. TD brought up yesterday the idea that perhaps the Titans could use AJ getting so amped up against him. Now, AJ has had two hugely costly fumbles over the last 2 weeks, both that against better teams than the Colts and the Packers, who we all know firsthand stink, that against good teams probably could have been some serious problems for Philadelphia. I mean, they almost lost that Colts game. Mm-hmm. So an amped up AJ, who really, ever since the beginning of the season, where he had that big game in week 1, and then he had the game against the Steelers where he caught the 3 touchdown passes, and on the third one he pointed to the DBs and got fined, and everyone was like, wow, A.J. Brown might be the best receiver in the NFL. And ever since then, A.J. really hadn't done much, which we know sometimes A.J. gets hurt, and A.J. got hurt, and so he missed a little bit of time, not any games, but a little bit of time. And so now, it's been a while since A.J.'s exploded, and he's playing the Titans, and he's going to be super amped up. Do you think there's a chance that Vrabel and the Titans can take advantage of A.J. and his emotion and actually get that to work against him and the Eagles on Sunday?
Absolutely. I absolutely think that's at play here.
How do you draw that out of him, though?
I don't know.
Do you hit him?
No.
I mean, they hit those Green Bay receivers. The Titans do that. That's why the Titans get called for those, and they happen about 2 or 3 a game, and I think what Vrabel's decided is we're just going to deal with this and move on, but those illegal contact, that's past the 5 yards, they get called. McCreary gets called for those. David Long gets called for those. Like, they get called for illegal contact because they're really physical with the receivers. And the assumption is that the referees aren't going to throw the flags on every play, so hit them, and it might cost you on a 3rd down or 2, but then you get to do it for the whole rest of the game.
They'll call 1 out of every few.
Bingo. So you hit him, and you get him frustrated. To me, and this is where I talk about how
but
the
I think
game
the
plan.
emotion's already high. Like, I think he's going into this game already emotional.
I
Now,
know.
how do you make it turn on him?
Yeah. And I got to tell you, this is where I go back to that whole game plan thing that we've talked about how the Eagles' game plan. TD said it right there. The Eagles have to get him the ball early because they know how emotional this is for AJ.
For sure.
So AJ doesn't have to tell Sirianni. He already knows. Sirianni doesn't have to tell Jalen Hurts. He already knows. And it wouldn't surprise me, too, if AJ said something to Jalen Hurts like, hey, give me the ball. But if you're the Titans, you know that. So then do you make sure that AJ doesn't get the ball? You let the other guys be more open. We know Vrabel can do it. He did it to Travis Kelce. He did it to Devontae Adams. So you make them throw to the other guys just to piss AJ off. And I do think that would work.
But also, that's kind of a dumb game plan because it's not just A.J. Brown out there.
I know.
Devontae Smith on the other side.
But who's the better player?
I mean, Devontae Smith right now has gotten more targets than A.J.
If you had to pick, who's the better player? Who are you more worried about beating the Titans?
Well, I mean, that's not really a fair question.
Okay,
that's emotional.
If we're doing
a
Cincinnati
draft,
Bengals,
if we're doing a draft,
the
and
Cincinnati
I have to
Bengals,
pick a wide receiver,
who are you more worried about if you're the Bengals? Are you more worried about A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith?
I don't know.
Oh, I'm way more worried about A.J. Brown.
I don't know.
And I'm going to tell you exactly why I'm more worried.
I think it's because you know A.J.
No, it's the touchdown pass to T. Higgins. Because there is no defense for that. With a physical receiver that goes up, there was not enough contact at the top of that pass to throw an offensive pass interference flag. And the Titans corners, they hit one of those balls to Higgins on Fulton. They hit one of those balls on McCreary. Neither guy is physical enough or big enough to be able to go up with those receivers. AJ's a T. Higgins build kind of receiver. Devontae Smith is a little dude. Devontae Smith is, slippery. And that
he's elusive.
I think that they can kind of keep up with. AJ is too big and too strong, and so I am way more worried about AJ than I am Devontae Smith. Because I don't think physically they can match up with AJ. That's what makes AJ
to be fair,
so good.
how much Devontae Smith do you really watch?
I mean, I know Devontae Smith is like 150 pounds, and I think I've watched the Eagles
small.
like 3 times.
Yes. But, I mean, he's not a bad player.
I didn't say he was, but you have to pick one. I mean, I told you all before the Raiders game, I'm like, this Matt Collins is pretty good. Like, I don't think Matt Collins is some bum. And I didn't think Matt Collins would go for 150 yards. But I think Matt Collins is a starting receiver in the NFL. And Matt Collins is pretty good because they took Devontae Adams out of the game. So, I mean, I got to believe that the Titans – see, I think the Titans are all concerned, and Vrabel's talked about this, about the Eagles' rushing attack, which Corey brought up. You know, hey, I wouldn't be worried about A.J. I'd be worried about them running with the running back and the quarterback, which is what Vrabel's been saying, and it's probably
true. That's
true.
also a fair point, too. Because you want to focus on the passing game, fine. You take those two out, you got Miles Sanders and you got Jalen Hurts that can both break tackles.
I would agree, but again, stopping the run is not going to like, the Eagles are not going to implode because they're frustrated that you stopped the run, so they threw the ball. But if AJ doesn't get the ball and the Titans don't allow AJ to get the ball and the Titans play incredibly physical with AJ to the point of where it's almost a flag on every play, so they don't throw the flag because they already threw the flag, so they're not going to keep throwing the flag, then I think that frustrates AJ, and then you could get AJ to implode. And I do think that the reward is worth the risk of trying to make AJ implode.
And I do think, too, AJ does a bit of that to himself. AJ drops a lot of balls. AJ fumbles a lot. And I think that if you can get him frustrated, and he goes in already emotional, and he drops those passes, and we've seen it the past couple of weeks in Philly. We saw it so many times here. That'll make him frustrated, too. And then you start getting Christian Fulton and Roger McCreary in his ear about those drops, and I think you get to the point where A.J. Brown might break.
You have to be careful about talking trash. They all do it.
I mean, they do it regardless.
But you have to be careful with AJ about talking trash because AJ does sometimes elevate over that. I think what you do is you force AJ, especially you force him short, and then you have your linebackers chip him. Basically, just coming across, maybe it's 5 yards, maybe it's 7 yards, maybe it's 4 yards. If it's 4 yards, it's not a penalty. If it's 7 yards, it's a penalty. But just, get in there, and then I think that will frustrate AJ. I do think the game plan should be I would stop A.J. Brown first. That would be the first thing I would do if I were the Titans. My number one thing would be A.J. Brown. And I know they're a run-first team, and I know that they want to run it with the quarterback and they want to run it with the running back, and I get it. And the Titans, even though the Bengals didn't crease them on Sunday, I did not think were effective in stopping the run, but I am not committing everybody down in there like they did against the Packers simply because I know Philly's game plan is going to be to give A.J. Brown the ball, and I know what they're going to want to do because I know how their coach is thinking, and I'm going to take away the thing that they want to do the most. Remember this. They had Miles Sanders last year, right?
Yes.
They had Jalen Hurts last year, right?
Yes, they did.
They had Devontae Smith last year.
Yep.
Who did they not have last year?
A.J. Brown.
They were an okay team that made the playoffs and got blown out in the first playoff game against Tampa Bay. They're a great team now. Why are they a great team now?
One would probably assume because of A.J. Brown.
Because of A.J. Brown. So, to me, this is the Belichick. Whatever I think you're best at, I want to take away. I want to make you play left-handed. I'm taking away A.J. Brown. I'm making A.J. Brown mad, and I'm hoping A.J. Brown goes crazy on the sidelines. I don't think A.J. Brown will go, because we never saw it here, where A.J. Brown went like Des Bryant or Antonio Brown or any of those, crazy on the sidelines at his quarterback. But, boy, I would love it if he did. But maybe he'll fumble the ball or drop the ball or get booed or whatever. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. 615-737-1025 if you want to weigh in. 615-737-1025. And do we really think, we've been kind of monitoring this, Mike Vrabel's keys to the game. Mike Vrabel's got a key to the game on the Coach's TV show. Do we really think in the AJ game that the Mike Vrabel key to the game is not AJ? what Vrabel had to say. We'll do that next. Stillman and Company, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. FanDuel Sportsbook is my official sportsbook app. That's right. I absolutely love the FanDuel Sportsbook app. And now is the perfect time to download FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because right now new customers get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. That's free bets back if your first bet doesn't win. Just sign up with the promo code JGM. FanDuel has all of your favorite bets, from the money line to point spreads to player props, and you can combine your bets for a chance at a bigger payout with the same game parlay. With live betting, you'll get updated odds on games that have already started. Get your winnings and get them paid quickly, all on an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. So sign up today with the promo code JGM for your no-sweat first bet. That's promo code JGM, and make every moment more this season with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. 21 and older and present Tennessee. First online real money wager only. Refund issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line, 1-800-889-9789.
Every Wednesday at 8:45. Join Robbie and Rex Road for The Choice is Yours.
2 sports questions, 2 non-sports questions.
They'll answer a couple of questions about life and sports. The Choice is Yours is built by Jarrett Companies. You have a choice. So when you have a need for site and utility work, fire protection, concrete and asphalt services, the choice is simple. It's Jarrett Companies. For more, visit JarrettCompaniesInc.com. The choice is yours. Wednesdays at 8:45 on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
I'm Fox 17 News Code Red meteorologist Greg Bobus. Forecast for us here going into the afternoon. Mainly cloudy and a few isolated rain showers are possible. High temperatures upper 50s to near 60 degrees. Rain really settles in overnight tonight into tomorrow.
Brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Christmas shopping is in full swing at Electronic Express. Come into our convenient locations for great deals on all of your favorite brands like Samsung, Whirlpool, LG, Sony, Apple, and more. Electronic Express has huge savings in every department. 4K TVs, computers, appliances, housewares, headphones, gaming, and more. Save up to 40% with up to 48 months free financing. Shop in-store or online at electronicexpress.com and get free express delivery on most items. Electronic Express. We make Christmas happen.
This holiday season, tee it up at Edwin Watts Golf Shops for the hottest gifts from TaylorMade and Bushnell. Featuring the TaylorMade Stealth Carbon Woods with 60 layers of carbon for faster ball speeds. And while you're there, grab a dozen TP5 golf balls. And from Bushnell, save up to $75 on the Tour V5 and Tour V5 Shift rangefinders. There's also gift cards for those favorite golfers on your list. Don't miss these holiday gifts and more happening now at Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee.
I wanted to know why some people who get COVID-19 get it so bad. I found out it may be because they have a high risk factor, such as heart disease, diabetes, being overweight, smoking, and asthma. Even if symptoms feel mild, these factors can increase your risk of COVID-19 turning severe. So if you're at high risk and test positive, there are things you can do, like asking your healthcare provider if an authorized oral treatment is right for you. Learn about an option at treatcovid19.com. This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
Informative.
They played a lot of power play time together back in the day.
Insightful.
It's a great addition to this team.
And just 3 guys being dudes.
On the sideline in shorts and a t-shirt. Hanging out, watching the game.
Chase, Willie, and D-Mace. Weekdays from 10 to 2.
No such thing as bad press.
On Nashville's best sports talk, 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app. You're listening to Stillman and Company.
Sounds like this has been a game-changing day for all of us.
Presented by TriStar Moving on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and on the Game Nashville app.
You got to stop the run, right?
Would be a good place to start. Quarterback design runs. Runs, obviously, with Sanders, and then the other hidden yardage in the quarterback runs when they drop back to throw it and you don't contain or you don't have coordinated rush lanes. That's something that's going to have to get better than the last time we played last week.
Mike Vrabel's key to the game on the Coaches Show was stopping the run, the running back, the quarterback, and not A.J. Brown. Which leads me to this question. Now, we do believe that Mike Vrabel does actually share his keys to the game on the Coaches television show. But do we really believe that A.J. Brown is not the key to the defensive game plan?
Well, do you think it should be the key to the defensive game plan because you think that taking out AJ is the best way for the Titans to win, or because Mike Vrabel is petty?
Both.
Okay, that's fair.
I mean, I do wonder how he's addressing this internally, because I know he's addressing it externally, which in the TV show was, AJ, Devontae Smith, this one, that one, just like AJ. Just like if you were to talk about the Bengals last week and you were to say, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, Hayden Hurst, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, that's it. I don't believe that that's how Mike Vrabel is approaching this with his defense.
Why? I mean, that's dumb. There are far too many offensive weapons on this team not named A.J. Brown to only focus on A.J. Brown.
Well, wouldn't you say that about the Raiders?
Yeah.
And what did they do?
Well, they shut down Devontae Adams and Darren Waller.
But they really didn't shut down Darren Waller. They let them have Darren Waller, and he dropped
And he just dropped balls, yeah.
So it really was, hey, Jacobs and Waller and Hollins, and knock yourselves out.
Yeah, but
That's
is
what they
Hollins
do.
like one of the players that you say you absolutely have to shut him down? I think I look at Mac Hollins and say, if he beats us, fine, so be it.
And that almost happened.
It did.
But this one, I can't imagine he's just going in there in the meeting rooms on defense.
I don't think they're ignoring
and just
AJ.
saying, oh, yeah, AJ's good too.
I don't think that he's saying that. I don't think they're ignoring AJ, but to simply focus on just AJ. Like if you're playing the Bills and you say, we are only going to focus on Stephon Diggs. Gabriel Davis, you try and beat us. I would get that. And Gabriel Davis is a hell of a player. But with this offense, I don't think you can just sell out to stop one player because you don't want him to dunk on you. Because you want to make the trade look better.
I think you look at it as A.J. Brown is the X factor in that offense. Just like I brought up. Last year they had all those same guys, and they were fine. And now they're elite. What changed?
AJ.
I
am not denying the fact that AJ is a very important key to this offense. It is not the offense.
I don't think that stopping the run is Mike Vrabel's first key, but I could be wrong. Phone lines are driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Thomas is up next on a Fireball Hot Take Friday. What you got, Thomas?
Hey, how you doing today?
Good. Go ahead.
Well, what I was saying is, I understand about them trading A.J. Brown and they're playing the same, but you got to remember from back in the day, the Titans also, they traded McNair to Baltimore. They traded George to Dallas, and I think Mason went to Baltimore. Was all this hype made about them playing those teams when it came down to that because of them trading the star players?
Yes, Steve McNair came in here with the Ravens, and it was a big deal in 2006. And it was a huge deal that Steve McNair was coming back here to play the Titans. Now, Derek Mason, Samari Rolle, played on the Ravens the year before. Good call, Thomas. Steve McNair, Derek Mason, Samari Rolle. That was, hey, here's a video for these guys who were great Titans players. The Titans never played Eddie George that year that he was with the Dallas Cowboys, so that never came to fruition. But again, it was never this openly petty. Maybe McNair because of the whole locking McNair out of the facility thing, and that strained the relationship. But I remember, and again, I remember this vaguely because it happened so long ago, and because deep down inside, I cared, but I'm not sure I really cared that much. I didn't care. I wasn't doing 4 hours in the hallway at school on the Steve McNair
I find that hard
dynamic.
to believe. I feel like you
was
maybe
doing
were
a couple,
doing a couple.
At some point, I did actually go to school when I was in school. But I say this that I remember there was a lot of animosity between McNair and the Titans. But then at the Jeff Fisher celebrity softball game, Steve McNair was the surprise guest. A month or two after they traded him, and it was kind of like water under the bridge because Steve McNair was there. Now, it was a big deal when Steve McNair quarterbacked the Ravens against the Titans, and the Titans barely lost, and it was a big deal, and everybody cheered for McNair. But
I mean, this is drama that has been cooked up entirely because of A.J. Brown.
I believe that A.J. Brown is the first player in the 20-something year history of the Titans that forced his way out of town. Not hey, behind the scenes, I'd like a trade somewhere else where they could use me better, but made it pretty obvious that he wanted out. I think that A.J. Brown...
But I don't think he necessarily wanted out. I think he wanted money.
No, he wanted out. He requested a trade.
If the Titans would have paid him the number that he wanted, I think he still would have been here.
He requested the trade.
Because he wanted money.
But that wasn't why he said he requested the trade. He just called in and requested the trade. I agree with you that that's why he did it, but he forced his way out of here. A.J. Brown played every card in the book in order to get a trade engineered, and it worked. Now, A.J. doesn't think that, but that's what happened.
And then he turned around and said something along the lines of, I was so
I didn't
shocked,
want this.
Stabbed in the back.
I didn't want this. Now, I'm trying to think. Not even Hainsworth. Hainsworth just wanted to get paid. He was going to go to the highest bidder.
That was the one that popped into my head, Albert.
Hainsworth?
Yeah, but that wasn't necessarily a trade. They just didn't really, I don't know. That was a weird situation, but whatever.
Hainsworth is the one where, again, to me, Hainsworth was just going, whoever paid him the most money is where Hainsworth was going. And Jeff Fisher stupidly agreed
to the franchise thing, yeah.
Yeah, to not franchise him again. And so he had this great season, and then he was a free agent. And he went and signed with the highest bidder, even though he hated Washington and Washington hated him. AJ's the one. Like, that's it. Eddie George didn't want out of here. Derek didn't want out of here. Samari Roll didn't want out of here. You could argue Javon Curse, but he broke his foot. He didn't want out of here. Kevin Carter didn't want out of here. DeMarco Murray didn't want out of here. Marcus didn't want out of here. Jarrell Casey didn't want out of here. Logan Ryan didn't want out of here. Delaney Walker didn't want out of here. Taylor doesn't want out of here. He's the one guy. He's the one guy. Derek never wanted out of here. He's the one guy. I don't even think the Titans have had a holdout outside of like rookie contracts that haven't gotten done over the years. He's the one.
Chris Johnson, did he ever hold out?
Oh, that's right.
I think he did a little.
Yeah, after his 2,000-yard season, and then they gave him the contract, and he sucked. What do we have in the text line?
One texter texts in and says, I hope AJ has the game of his life. So John Robinson looks and feels like the odor. I don't know if that's the right word. The odor he is for dealing him. Maybe if AJ humbled him Sunday, he won't make another ignorant move like that in the future.
Woo, that's a hot take on Fireball Hot Take
Wow.
Friday. Let me
Anthony
say this.
the plumber coming in hot.
I do not think it is John Robinson's fault that the Titans lost on Sunday to the Bengals. I know every time that the Titans lose, we look at things like T. Higgins was taking 3 or 4 picks after Isaiah Wilson, and it's like, my God, could you imagine if the Titans had an offense with T. Higgins and A.J. Brown on it? And yes, I do think about that. But I don't think that's why they lost to the Bengals. But every time they lose, it always comes up that Isaiah Wilson stunk and Farley stunk and Raiden stinks and all those things. And that becomes some kind of a big deal, and everybody gets mad at Robinson whenever they lose. I do not think Robinson cost them the game on Sunday. No matter what happens in this game, if they lose, John Robinson will get the blame for that specific move. Even if AJ has 2 catches for 13 yards, but one of those catches resulted in a first down, even if it wasn't an important first down, and the Titans lose by 1 point because the punter misses the ball and it's recovered, or he has to fall on it in the end zone for a safety, and they lose by 1 point, John Robinson will get all the blame for trading away A.J. Brown to the Eagles. It is binary. If they win, Robinson will look like they haven't missed a beat. If they lose, it'll be like, how could you trade A.J. Brown? No matter what happens.
100%.
And that's just the reality of it. Now, if A.J. goes off on Sunday and the Titans lose, it is 4 hours of that trade.
If AJ goes off and the Titans win.
Here's the problem.
I don't see a scenario where both of those things can happen, but.
I mean, we've seen AJ go off and the Titans lose when AJ was on the Titans. Not very often, but we did see it. So I'm not ruling it out. That being said, though, one thing I was thinking about is it's a discussion that we haven't really had that I want to have. And it surrounds AJ and the Titans. And we'll get to that next. 615-737-1025 and add on your phones because it's your day. It's Fireball Hot Take Friday. Stillman and Company right here, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Hey, be sure to tune into the game of the week on Sunday. This week's game is the Dolphins and the 49ers at 3:05. That is a good game. The NFL Game of the Week is brought to you by Red Spirits and Wine in Bellevue and Superbook Sports, voted the #1 sportsbook in Vegas. Download their app today. And be sure to turn into the College Football Game of the Week tomorrow as Purdue takes on Michigan in the Big Ten Championship at 7 o'clock. And the College Football Game of the Week is brought to you by Twin Peaks, home of 29-degree drafts and wall-to-wall sports, and Superbook Sports, voted the #1 sportsbook in Vegas. Download their app today.
You watch the game.
Sliding across, making the stop, UC Cerro.
We talk the game.
That wraparound goal by Sanford was a beaut.
Tanner Janot, Ryan Johansson gets on the board.
We are the game. Nashville's best sports talk. 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
They say a good craftsman never blames their tools, and the best always choose the right one for the job. For the builders and makers of this world, nothing beats knowing you've got what you need to get the project done. Northern Tool is a problem solver's paradise. And with savings of up to 50% off and great new deals dropping every week, we've got the perfect gift for all the solvers on your list. We're made for this. Come see us in store or shop online at northerntool.com.
Genesis Diamonds kicks off the holiday season with the largest luxury pre-owned Rolex event ever this weekend. We've brought in an expanded selection of pristine, like-new Rolex timepieces. Hundreds in stock for this special event, including all the hard-to-find models. Daytonas, Submariners, Pepsis, Datejust, Sky Dwellers, and more. It's an unprecedented buying opportunity. Great prices and special zero-interest financing for 5 years. Come pick out your luxury pre-owned Rolex or get one for someone else. Get the watch of your dreams and spread your payments over 5 whole years. Also, our buyers are on site for this event. So if you already own a Rolex and want to sell it, you'll get top dollar or trade yours for a different model. All Genesis luxury pre-owned Rolexes are hand-selected and rigorously inspected in pristine condition, and our selection has never been better. Don't miss this special holiday pre-owned Rolex buy-sell trade event at Genesis Diamonds this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Genesis Diamonds and luxury pre-owned Rolexes in Green Hills and Cool Springs.
Open Sundays till Christmas.
Hey, it's Hutton. Interest rates are rising, but not at Spring Hill Heating and Cooling. Replace your old unit fast before new regulations increase prices up to 20%. Get a new unit today at today's price and receive up to $1,500 off, or get 18 months of no payments, so the first payment is not until spring of 2024. At Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, all new systems come with a 10-year parts and labor warranty. Schedule your appointment now at springhillac.com. That's springhillac.com.
Hey, it's Jared. Are you looking to move? If so, do yourself a favor and reach out to my friends at TriStar Moving. You can be assured your move will be stress-free because they've got new utility vans to help with pack jobs to separate your high-value or fragile items from the bulk of your furniture, and their movers are carefully picked and highly trained. No one in the game is doing this. TriStar Moving is raising the standard in the moving industry. When you're ready to move, give them a call. TriStar Moving, 615-640-1219, or online at nationalmoving.org/radio, and tell them Jared Stillman referred you for 10% off. That's TriStar Moving.
Hey, this is Edwin Vickery at Mercedes-Benz of Music City in Nashville, Tennessee. We have a lot to be thankful for this year, and I want to say thank you to our customers in Nashville and Middle Tennessee. I hope everybody has a safe and happy holiday season.
At the Home Depot, we have plenty of Christmas trees to make your holidays even more magical. Hundreds of full, easy-to-assemble artificial trees that look so real, you may be convinced they actually are. And for those who love that fresh pine smell, we have a parking lot full of fresh-cut trees to call your own. We'll even help you load your tree in the car so you can bring home the holidays. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
Tonight, your Nashville Predators continue their road trip against the New York Islanders. Coverage begins at 5 on your home for Nashville. WPRT FM Peagrove, WBUC.
We're one play away from an injury.
He knows this. He's a study of the game. And we have strong opinions.
He's been awful. I don't think they were trying, and that's why I feel the way I feel.
This is Stillman and Company with Jared Stillman and Caroline Fenton. Presented by TriStar Moving on Nashville's best sports talk, 102.5 and 106.3 The Game, and on the Game Nashville app.
Stillman and Company is delivered by TriStar Moving, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Streaming live on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook Live. Thanks to the law offices of Amanda J. Gentry. Fireball Hot Take Friday. So a discussion that I just realized we haven't had this week. We haven't had it.
What?
And I'm almost surprised by it. You asked it in Jared versus Joe, but we haven't necessarily had it per se. You have any idea what I'm getting at here?
Game planning for AJ?
No. Ian, do you have an idea?
Nothing really stands out from Jared versus Joe yesterday either.
Okay. So let's envision that we are not Stillman and company. That we're not Jared Stillman and Ian Safar, Caroline Fenton, and we're sitting here, on the radio. Let's pretend that we work for the Titans, high level, and we're sitting just having a couple of fireballs, enjoying Fireball Hot Take Friday, big game coming up against the Eagles.
Just a couple of gals gabbing.
And my question in this hypothetical situation to the group is, do you regret trading A.J. Brown? Do you think the Titans regret the trade that they made on draft night, trading A.J. Brown? Now, let's just go over the numbers and let you weigh in at 615-737-1025. The Eagles are 10-1. They're the number one team in the NFL. They rank second in total offense, albeit 17th in passing. A.J. Brown has 53 catches for 831 yards and 7 touchdowns. Mm-hmm. The Titans are 7-3. Technically, they're third in the AFC, so it's not like a huge difference. It's a difference of 2 games. They're 7-3. They rank 29th in offense. So where the Eagles rank second, the Titans rank 29th. They also rank 29th in passing. And Treylon Burks has 24 catches for 334 yards and 1 touchdown. And that touchdown is not even a receiving touchdown. So he's got 6 less touchdowns, 500 less yards, and 30 less catches than A.J. Brown.
And also, I don't want to hear, though, well, he played 6 fewer games.
Doesn't matter.
Because that's part of the story.
Doesn't matter.
That is part of the story.
If A.J. had gotten hurt, which was a problem with A.J., which is part of the reason why they traded A.J., if A.J. had gotten hurt, we'd say, we told you A.J. was going to get hurt. Should the Titans regret the trade? If you were the Titans, would you regret the trade?
Now, should the Titans, or if I'm the Titans, would I?
You're John Robinson. Do you regret it?
Yes.
Even though A.J. went against the core principles of your team and the way he handled his business in the public, because that's what ultimately happened. And again, the word on the street that I heard in Green Bay was that the Titans had a deal worked out for A.J. Brown. And the day before the draft, A.J.'s agent called and said he wanted $2 million more per season. John Robinson hung up the phone and decided it was time to trade him. So they thought they had a deal, which $2 million per season. You're giving Jeff Swaim $3.5 million. So how much is $2 million per season? But it almost feels
it's the principle of it all.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
It feels like it was the principle of it. The fact that we're not going to get hoodwinked by anybody. We're not going to get dragged into this. We're not going to deal with these social media antics. We're not going to do this. And the Titans hung up the phone and they decided, screw you, and we're getting Treylon Burks. Do you think they regret that? That emotional? Because the Titans got dug in on this too. Just like A.J. did. The Titans got dug in, and that's why they traded him. Even though A.J. cried like a freaking baby. And I do wonder if the Titans looked at it like, hey, if we acquiesce to all this bitching, this is now going to be something that everybody is going to try if we do that going forward.
And I think they looked at some of the big contracts that they have coming up, and what's stopping Jeffrey Simmons from doing that exact same thing and demanding more money. You did it for A.J. Am I not important to this team as AJ was? I understand why they did it. I understand that an organization of no one individual is bigger than the team, that when one individual is asking for more and more and more and saying, I want you to value me more and more and more. I understand why they did it. But I don't understand how you could be here on December 2nd and not look back on that trade and think, what in the world were we thinking? Because it was the right move at the time. It was the right business decision. But not every business decision is the best football decision. And maybe in 3 years, Treylon Burks is Super Bowl MVP. Maybe Treylon Burks has, 1,500-yard seasons. And in 3 years, he'll look like a genius. But right now, it doesn't look like the right decision because Ryan Tannehill's not getting any younger. Derrick Henry's not getting any younger. What does this offense need so badly? A certified number 1 receiver. And they don't have that. And they had that, and they traded it away. And the past couple of games makes all of that look a lot easier, a lot better, but still.
Ian, you're the Titans. Do you regret trading A.J. Brown?
I think if I'm the Titans, I think it's probably a little too early to go full regret. The season's not over yet. I think it's a little bit too premature. Granted, Could they have a better record right now with AJ? Most likely, probably yes. But does that really translate, moving forward? Can't really predict the future of what's going to go happen yet. So I can't go full regret yet on that as far as just as the season's not over. And I don't know, something about, I don't know why, but these decision-making processes and what they do and as far as they move on and all the stuff that they've talked about, Floyd just pops into my head about second-guessing, and we've moved on and we've made the decision. Once you make the decision, you can't keep thinking about it, And so part of me thinks, no, they don't regret it yet.
Okay. You really think that the old man didn't second-guess his own decisions?
I mean, I'm sure he did a little bit, but did he regret them all? I think really the only one he really talked about regretting was the Knicks draft pick, right?
Oh, yeah, that one and the Lindell White one.
So, I mean, out of all the picks, and so I don't know.
It does remind me of, how they took Kevin Dyson ahead of Randy Moss. And, one time, Kaharski was just going off. Because Floyd would say over and 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 over again that he did not regret taking Kevin Dyson over Randy Moss.
And he would have done it again probably,
and then he would have done it again.
Yeah.
And with the information that he had and the fact that Kevin Dyson was turning into a number one receiver when he got hurt, which, they were the defending AFC champions when that happened. So I'm not going to knock it. And I did think Dyson had a good season in 99. And so he said that. And Kaharski just went freaking nuts about how could you say that you would take Kevin Dyson over Randy Moss? He was, I'm sure you can all imagine. And the way I thought about it was, at the time, to Ian's point, is it's this was the information I had. This is the decision I made based upon the information I had. If I stick to this process, 9 times out of 10, it will work for me, and the 10th time it will be Randy Moss. But if I make exceptions to the process every time, then I'll end up with a team of exceptions. That being said, I also think the Titans would try to talk themselves into that Treylon has played well lately, and now he's coming along, and
which is
now
true.
He's going to be. I'm a little torn here. The real question maybe shouldn't be about Robinson. The real question maybe should be about Amy, because she had to sign off on that. Mm-hmm. The owner, you don't trade A.J. Brown without talking to the owner. Well, we know how Vrabel felt, supposedly. Everybody reads the body language of the trade as if, Mike Vrabel threw a temper tantrum in the draft room when it happened. I didn't feel that way, but I also didn't, maybe I should have. But let's say Vrabel didn't like it and Robinson was the guiding force behind the decision. That probably is still how they feel today. I don't know if they regret it. I don't know if I regret it.
Do you think they should, or do you think that they do?
Well, that's
Those
what
are
I'm
two
saying.
different questions.
I don't know if they should regret it.
Got to give it some more time. It needs more time.
If you ask me that question today, do they regret it today? I think it's an easy question to answer, yes. But do they regret it overall in the grand scheme of things? Do they regret the potential of Treylon Burks versus the known commodity of A.J. Brown? Probably not. Because, you can hold out for the hope of Treylon Burks, that Treylon Burks can be this team's number one for the next 4 to 5 years plus.
That is if the offensive coordinator lets him play.
That is a big contention here, which really shouldn't be a question. It should be pretty obvious that your number one wide receiver is on the field at least 80% of the time. But what do I know?
So I see your phones lined up. We're to them next. Right to them. And that's the question. And I didn't even give you an answer. And I feel like a fraud for not giving you all an answer.
Give the people an answer.
I feel
the
like
people deserve an answer.
I'm torn on this.
Answer the question.
I think they were right to make the trade.
Okay.
I think they were right to make the trade. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I feel like, and look, this may backfire in the Patriots' face. Because the Patriots spent all those years saying, Lawyer Malloy wasn't bigger than the organization, and Richard Seymour wasn't bigger than the organization, and Randy Moss wasn't bigger than the organization, and all these guys, Nate Solder wasn't bigger than the organization, Logan Mankins wasn't bigger than the organization. Oh, we can go, for the 20 years of the Patriots. Clearly there was one guy who was bigger than the organization. And they got him to play along for about 19 years.
But even still, it got to the point where he couldn't even be bigger than the organization.
And then once the Garoppolo thing happened, he had enough of it. And because of that, they stink. And so, but if you're going to build your organization the Patriot way, when you have a Patriot general manager and a Patriot coach, that's what you're trying to do. The Patriot way says nobody's bigger than the team.
But at what point does the Patriot way no longer work if you don't have Patriot Super Bowls?
What's going on with the Patriots right now is, I think, where we see where the Patriot way is good. But the Titans do win. And they're going to win again this year.
But not a Super Bowl.
Those are hard to win without that guy.
But not for the Patriots.
When they had that guy.
I know.
The Buccaneers don't work the Patriot way, and they won a Super Bowl because they had that guy.
The Patriot way feels like a really easy way to follow when they were winning Super Bowls.
Let me tell you something. The Bengal way may become a thing here in the future if Joe Burrow keeps doing what Joe Burrow's doing.
That's the Joe Burrow way. That ain't the Bengal way.
615-737-1025. I promise we're right to your phones on this next. Do you regret the A.J. Brown trade? Edley's Barbecue. I love Edley's Barbecue. That's right. If you are having a holiday party, you need to give my friends at Edley's Barbecue a buzz. Let Edley's Barbecue cater your next event. Voted Nashville's best barbecue 4 years in a row, Edley's Barbecue is a winning pick. They've got pickup, delivery, and full-service catering options. Perfect for small gatherings, corporate meetings, boxed lunches, team celebrations, and more. Special occasions, weddings, rehearsal dinners, you name it. They'll do it. Holiday parties, you bet. And again, with those full-service catering bar packages, makes it a lot easier for you. They got all kinds of stuff, whether it's the smoked pulled pork, brisket, turkey, scratch-made sides, you name it, they got it. Call your neighborhood Edley's or order online at edleysbbq.com. Those are my guys, edleysbbq.com.
185! Every team needs a quarterback.
185!
That's why we have
Hasselbeck, bootleg, rollout, toss, touchdown!
Tim. ESPN NFL analyst Tim Hasselbeck gives his expertise on all things NFL.
How that team is built, I think there's a lot to like about them.
Every Tuesday at noon, Tim with Chase, Willie, and D-Mace. Presented by Red Spirit and Wine in Bellevue on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Welcome to Smashville, home of your Nashville Predators. The action continues in December with 5 home games. Be there for a special matinee game when your Preds take on the Ottawa Senators Saturday, December 10th. Puck drops at 12:30. Don't miss 2 home games against Edmonton Oilers, Tuesday, December 13th and Monday, December 19th. And give the gift of hockey this holiday season when your Preds take on the Colorado Avalanche Friday, December 23rd and the Dallas Stars Tuesday, December 27th. Get your seats at NashvillePredators.com/tickets. That's NashvillePredators.com/tickets. Let's go, Preds!
Achieve hero status this year. The woman in your life will love this unique and thoughtful gift. Always in style, always fits, always appreciated. Choose your budget, and whether you spend a little or go lavish, she can choose from 10 different services, all under one roof at a Moment's Peace Salon and Day Spa. Gift cards can be printed directly from the website, or they can be beautifully wrapped for a stunning presentation and even paired with other gifts like robes, candles, and all sorts of fun finds from the Gift Boutique. Learn more about this at amomentspeace.com/Christmas.
O'Reilly. Don't risk getting stranded with a bad battery. Our professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts will test your battery for free. If your battery does need to be replaced, we'll help you find the best battery for your vehicle and your budget. Don't wait until your battery is dead. Get it tested for free today at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Yo, Pablo Torre here, host of the ESPN Daily Podcast. When you want to go beyond your feed, when you want to get inside the score, when you want to get behind the highlight, there's ESPN Daily. Go deeper into the stories of the moment. Get the exclusive access and insider perspective that only ESPN can give you. ESPN Daily, hosted by me, Pablo Torre. Listen and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
We want to hear from you.
Thanks for taking the call.
Join the conversation. Call or text at 615-737-1025. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. You're listening to Stillman and Company.
Presented by TriStar Moving.
102.5 and 106.3 The Game. And on the Game Nashville app.
As long as I'm the head coach here, I want to have A.J. Brown on my football team. What changed?
I think John just covered it, Paul. I appreciate you reading my words back to me. And I know you guys never coached a bunch of grown men that you put a lot of time into it. I love all our players. I love AJ personally. I know how John feels about him. But very comfortable with how this went down and how John and I were able to navigate, try to support him and make decisions. And unfortunately, we understand that if we're going to be here a while, we're not going to be able to keep every single player that we draft and develop. And this is where we're at, and we're excited to be able to be picking players tomorrow.
I got to tell you, I give that response. I haven't heard that in months. That was after the draft.
That's a good one.
I give that response from Vrabel like a 3 out of 10. Like, you said that you won't trade A.J. Brown as long as I'm the coach.
And thanks for using my words against me. Like, yeah.
Thanks for reading my words back to me. Yeah, you said it.
Yeah.
Like, you said it.
On the record.
And so now, are you not the coach anymore?
No, he is.
Well, you've never coached. That was he went to the you've never coached.
That's such a, because I told you so kind of answer. Like, what do you know? You're not a coach.
A 3 is nice. A 3 is generous to give him a 3 out of 10. That honestly should be a 1 out of 10 for how poorly he answered that.
He sounded a little chapped in that, though, didn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, his ass was red.
Yeah.
I mean, come on now. Phone line driven by WilsonCountyHunter.com. Fireball Hot Take Friday, 615-737-1025. Tyrekus is up next. Good to hear from you, Tyrekus. Go ahead.
First of all, I don't even like you, bro. Second of all,
I like you, Tyrekus.
It's like they hired Zach from Zach and Cody, and all I'm listening. Y'all got to realize, bro, what makes me mad, bro, is y'all got to realize AJ saying he won the trade. Nobody won. It's early. It's careers we talking about. 10 years down the line is when we should be talking about this. AJ can go down with a knee problem this week, and he going to be out for the whole year, and it might nag him the rest of his career. So I don't know why everybody's tripping. I think it was a great trade.
Why do you think it was a great trade? Don't you think we should wait 10 years to decide if it was a great trade, according to you? Tyrekus dropped.
Yes. Yeah. I probably would, too.
Let me say this on the AJ. AJ said, I feel like I won. He's referencing the money. He's referencing the fact that
and the fact that the Eagles are 10-1 right now.
Well, and to the point the caller made about the AJ could blow his knee out, and if AJ
so
blows
could
his knee
Treylon
out,
Burks.
Well, the point is that AJ already got paid. That's his point. Is I won because if I blow my knee out, I already got my money.
Yeah. But
that's the point.
To his point, it was a great trade because AJ could blow his knee out tomorrow and it could nag him for the rest of his career. That's a risk that every single player in this league, including every single member of the Titans, runs.
Yes.
The trade does not eliminate that happening from Treylon Burks or any other player for the Titans.
James, do you regret the A.J. Brown trade? Thank you for calling. Go ahead, James.
I personally don't regret the trade. There is nothing about this offense with Ryan Tannehill at quarterback that requires a $20 million receiver. It's just the money could be better spent.
So here's where I disagree with that. We saw Ryan Tannehill with A.J. Brown run one of the elite offenses of the NFL 2 years ago.
Sorry, I'm still not with you, brother.
I mean, I hear you. Thank you for your call. I hear you. But 2 years ago, they had the elite offense, one of the elite offenses. They were the second-ranked offense in the NFL with Tannehill as the quarterback. And I know Mike Vrabel won't get rid of the play caller, and it drives me crazy too, just like it drives you all crazy, and he sucks. He stinks. Everybody knows it. But still, I mean, even one of those executives in the ESPN article that gave the Titans a B- and gave the Eagles a B+ for the AJ trade, which, honestly, I didn't read the whole article before I decided I wanted to talk about it. I just thought, these executives gave the Titans a B- for the AJ trade. Mm-hmm. They gave the Broncos a C- for the Russell Wilson trade.
F.
So, once I hear that, it's like, okay. You're going to give a C- for a move that may set your franchise back for a decade, and you're going to give it a C-.
And also, I hear ya. Ryan Tannehill's not an elite quarterback in this league, but
neither is Jalen Hurts.
He's still a certified starting quarterback. And just because this is a run-first offense that goes through Derrick Henry doesn't mean that you can't pass the ball or that the Titans don't want to pass the ball. Derrick Henry hasn't necessarily been, league MVP the past few weeks, and it'd be really nice to have another certified threat in that offense. And I don't know if Treylon Burks is at the point yet that you have to say, we got to stop this guy.
You know what team has an elite offense that's a run-first team with an average quarterback?
The Eagles.
The one that he's on now. Let's go to George, who's up next here. Apparently, George is a Philadelphia fan. Thank you for calling. Go ahead, George.
Hey, how's everybody doing today? I hope you're doing
Good.
well.
Go ahead.
Good,
you do not
good.
sound
Hey,
like a Philly fan by starting off by asking us how we're doing. That is very un-Philadelphia fan of you, George.
He's a Canadian Eagles fan.
I am trying to be nice and well-behaved. I'm licking my wounds off a World Series defeat, so I'm trying to be well-behaved. But having said that, I got a problem here, guys. This Jalen Hurts quarterback, he is not the guy at Alabama that runs and then throws if he has to. I've heard you guys this week kind of say he's average. You're kind of ripping my boy a little bit. I got to be honest with you. So I encourage you, just watch him this weekend. Dude can throw the ball.
Ranked quarterbacks in the NFL for me. Where is he on your list?
I think he's top 10. Probably 9 or 10, but I think he's top 10.
Would you have said this last year?
No, I was not on the bandwagon last year, honest to God. And part of that, let's segue this into A.J. Brown. Part of that, she's made him better, right? It's easier to throw the receivers that are wide open. However, Hurts has made some good throws, man. I'm telling you, I've watched just about every game this year. He's a legit throwing NFL quarterback, I promise you. Now, hopefully he doesn't embarrass me on Sunday.
George, good call. Am I the only one who thinks that Jalen Hurts is just Ryan Tannehill 2 years ago? That Jalen Hurts is a smart quarterback, and I think Hurts is probably smarter than Tannehill, but Hurts is a smart quarterback.
Tannehill's great legs, but Hurts has better legs.
Second year in the offense, and nobody came into the season thinking that he was an elite guy, and he's got 2 receivers, a tight end, and a running game. I mean, that is when Ryan Tannehill played at a Pro Bowl level and made the Pro Bowl.
And I think Jalen Hurts is the same kind of quarterback that he won't elevate your team, but he can be elevated by pieces around him.
So when they get into playoffs and they play the Cowboys or they play, and this is where what we thought the NFC was going to be before the season and what the NFC is now are two different things, because the thought process would be you get into the playoffs and then you have to go play, Tom Brady in Tampa Bay, or you have to play Aaron Rodgers. It's like, can Jalen Hurts beat Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers in back-to-back weeks? But Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers' teams suck. So now you don't really have to worry about that. But my guess is their road to the Super Bowl probably involves Dallas and San Francisco. And both teams have a lot of firepower just like they do, especially San Francisco. Now, I'm not the biggest San Francisco fan out there, but San Francisco's got a really good defense, and outside of their quarterback, they've got everything. They are basically the Eagles, but with a worse quarterback. But still, can Jalen Hurts, if San Francisco has McCaffrey going and Debo going and Ayuk going and Kittle going, can Jalen Hurts put up enough points against a good defense if he has to do it? Which is just like Tannehill in the AFC Championship game at Kansas City, which the answer was no, which is Tannehill against the Ravens when the Ravens took away Derrick Henry. And it was like, hey, you need to throw to Davis and Brown, show us that elite offense, and they didn't do it. And can Jalen Hurts do that? Or is Jalen Hurts like Tannehill, that he'll get you past all the bums? He'll get you past every team you're better than. He'll get you past them for the most part. He'll be efficient with the football. He'll take care of it like Tannehill has this year, not like last year, but like Tannehill has this year and for pretty much the duration of his career as a Titan. And he'll make good plays, and everybody loves him, and so on and so forth. But then when you get there, he's not good enough. Not just like we saw Sunday. Now, not that Tannehill didn't play well Sunday, because Tannehill was not their problem. But when you play that guy on Sunday, Joe Burrow, you play that kind of guy, can Jalen Hurts beat him? And I'm not convinced Jalen Hurts can.
There's been nothing that has proven to me that he can.
But the good thing for the Eagles is that right now, the way the NFC is shaping is they may not have to play an elite quarterback if they get the bye, and then they get Dallas and San Francisco. And I think Dallas and San Francisco are great teams, but they're not elite quarterbacks. It's not like the AFC route where one team, and they're not going to be able to do this probably because one of these three guys is probably going to the Super Bowl, but one team, whether it's you or whether it's Miami or whomever it may be, might actually have to go Burrow, Allen, Mahomes in order to get into the Super Bowl. 615-737-1025 is our phone number if you want to weigh in, 615-737-1025. You know what I was going to talk about in the next segment?
What?
That I don't believe in Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, well.
We'll take your phones. 615-737-1025 on a Fireball Hot Take Friday. Let me tell you about Fireball Whiskey. I love Fireball Whiskey. It goes down so smooth and it tastes so great. If you are having a holiday party, you already know how popular Fireball is. So do not be the guy or gal who has a holiday party and does not have the Fireball at the house. Fireball Whiskey goes down so smooth and it tastes so great, and it is perfect to ring in the new year or to celebrate whatever holiday you may be celebrating. That's Fireball Whiskey. Again, ignite the night, do it responsibly, and be 21 years or older to enjoy. That's Fireball Whiskey.
ESPN Titans NFL Nation reporter Teron Davenport brings knowledge.
3 touchdowns. He was processing, getting rid of the ball quickly.
Passion.
Make no mistake about it. He absolutely has to hit the ground running.
And expertise on the two-tone blue and the NFL. Join TD every Monday at 11, Thursdays at 3, and Friday morning at 8 for all the latest on your favorite team. Teron Davenport is presented by Craneworks on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Looking for quality recreational sports in Nashville? Look no further than Mid-State Sports. With over 25,000 participants, they are one of the largest sports organizations in the Southeast. Winter registration is now open for adult indoor soccer, indoor flag football, indoor volleyball, and basketball. Youth registration includes indoor soccer and basketball. For a full list of youth and adult sports leagues, check out midstatesports.com.
There's no gift that's more beautiful, more versatile, or more meaningful than a beautiful piece of jewelry gifted from the heart. And there's no better place to find that gift than Genesis Diamonds. At Genesis, making memorable moments is our specialty. This holiday season, we put together our most impressive selection of can't-miss gifts. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, bands from $100 to $250,000. And now through December 12th, we're offering 5 years, zero-interest financing on any holiday purchase with absolutely nothing down. So the beautiful Eternity Band is just $50 a month. Or that 2-carat pair of diamond stud earrings, just $100 a month. Everything's included in this amazing offer. Even our huge selection of hand-picked GIA-certified diamonds and our luxury pre-owned Rolex watches. Make it a Christmas to remember with something special, something timeless, and something beautiful from Genesis Diamonds. Get 5 years, zero-interest financing with zero down now through December 12th. Genesis Diamonds, Green Hills and Cool Springs on approved credit.
Open Sundays till Christmas.
Paul Feinbaum here for the Southeast leader for cranes and equipment rental, Craneworks. The Craneworks team in Nashville, Birmingham, and Mobile is ready to make your next construction or maintenance project a big success. Give Craneworks a call for your next lift, machinery moving, or rigging project. And don't forget, RentalWorks has a full line of rental equipment for jobs both big and small, and now offering qualified operators for all equipment, including aerial and earth-moving equipment. Call Craneworks at 877-282-LIFT or visit them on the web at craneworks.com.
At Houston Clinic Orthopedics, their physicians are specialty trained orthopedists that treat injuries and disorders of the upper extremities. Not all painful conditions require surgery. Therefore, their physicians look for non-surgical solutions first. Depending on your condition, you can be treated with a brace, splint, anti-inflammatory medications, rehabilitation, or if necessary, surgery. To experience world-class orthopedic care, visit tn.houston.com, where experience matters.
Craftsman Days at Lowe's are going on now. Get limited time savings across the store like $100 off a V20 6-tool combo kit. Plus, enter the Craftsman Days Ultimate Garage Sweepstakes for a chance to win Craftsman products valued at over $10,000. Learn more at Lowe's.com/Ultimate Garage. Offer valid through 12/31 while supplies last. No purchase necessary. Ends 12/31. Residents of 50 USDC, 18 or older, and age of majority, and have a Lowe's.com account. Void where prohibited. See rules at Lowe's.com/Ultimate Garage for entry instructions, odd prices, etc. Sponsor Lowe's.
Saturday.
It's Duggan on the run. He scores. Touchdown. Cade Warner on the receiving end.
It's the Big 12 championship game between undefeated TCU and Kansas State. Coverage begins at 11 on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey Nashville, this is Vanderbilt football head coach Clark Lee.
You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 1025 The Game, and the Game Nashville app.
Stillman and Company, Fireball Hot Take Friday. Again, the question, do the Titans regret the AJ trade? And it was hard for me to come around to say no. It was hard for me to get there.
I think there are very solid arguments for both sides.
About why they could regret it or why they wouldn't regret it?
Yes.
I mean, I just say that if you decide you're a Patriot organization and they have a Patriot coach and a Patriot general manager, and you say, hey, nobody's above the team, nobody, is going to negotiate through the media, nobody is going to make it about them, and you see the opportunity to get younger at the position and not pay the money and everything else. And let's not kid ourselves, AJ hasn't played great lately and Traylon has played much better, which makes it a lot more palatable. I just am not there to say yes on the regret, but it's hard. It's hard to say that.
Because you can regret it now and not regret it in 2 years, but it's easy to not regret it in 2 years if A.J. Brown has been horrible and Traylon Burks is a baller.
If, let's just say Philadelphia wins the Super Bowl right now, they have the third highest odds in order to do it, though. I am not a believer in the Eagles as a Super Bowl contender. I mean, they're a contender for sure, but I don't believe in them as I think they're going to win the Super Bowl.
Right.
A.J.'s Super Bowl MVP, now it's a different discussion.
Right. It makes it a lot tougher to swallow.
Where we are today, do you regret it? My vote is no. Michael is up next here on a Fireball Hot Take Friday. Thank you for calling. What you got, Michael?
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call. I was on my way to work this morning. I was listening to KJM talk about how the Titans losing A.J. Brown was the biggest loss of the whole offseason this past year. And they were saying how 3 of our 4 losses this year had come from a combined 8 points total, and how if we had A.J. Brown, we'd probably win those 3 games. And I was going through my head and thinking, well, going one by one, I don't think, other than the Chiefs game, I don't think we would have beaten the Giants or the Bengals with how those games played out if A.J. Brown was here or not. So I just wanted to get y'all's opinion on whether or not they had any sort of validation for if we had A.J., we could possibly have 3 or maybe even 2 more wins than we have already.
Thank you, Michael. Does that show? I mean, they don't watch the Titans. That being said.
But it's a fair point or question to ask.
I think the one that they win with A.J. Brown, I think it's the Giants.
I would guess Giants. Maybe the Bengals with the red zone situation, but I would lean Giants.
The Giants, though, in the second half, they looked so lethargic. And does A.J. Brown fix that?
So the Titans on offense didn't do much in the second half, which was, remember, the theme of the season early on. They didn't do much in that game. Tannehill, though, did orchestrate a 2-minute drill to get them in field goal range, and then whatever shenanigans Vrabel played with that timeout or whatever it was. I still think it was to avoid a 2-minute warning. I think Tannehill's just as much culpable as Vrabel was for that. And Vrabel just didn't throw Tannehill under the bus. Then the Chiefs game, I don't know if a receiver would have helped. You have to get somebody that can throw it to the receivers in order for the receiver to help. But that margin of the Kansas City game was so razor
thin.
The Bengals game, I mean, my biggest problem with the Bengals game is they got no pass rush, which is not an AJ thing. And I think a lot of that was Cincinnati's game plan because the ball came out very quickly. But also, they didn't play the good players enough. And would Todd Downing be keeping A.J. Brown on the bench? Bless you.
Thank you.
Would Todd Downing be keeping A.J. Brown on the bench like he's keeping Traylon Burks? My guess is no.
No.
But still, it's like they didn't play the good players enough.
With both the Giants and the Bengals, both of those games could have come down to not missing a field goal.
Oh, special teams.
So with A.J. Brown, are you in the end zone instead of having to settle for a field goal?
Giants, no, because they played for the field goal.
Yep.
Bengals, maybe.
So I think that's why I lean Bengals.
What's the difference in record with A.J. Brown? They're 7-4 right now. What's the difference in record today with A.J. Brown? Is it anything better than 8-3?
I cannot go 9-2. I would say it would be 8-3.
8-3. Chris is up next here on the A.J. Brown trade. Thank you for calling. Go ahead, Chris.
Hey, guys. So here's why I potentially regret the A.J. Brown move and think this is why the Titans could regret it as well. And it actually has nothing to do with Burks, but instead it's about Henry. if Henry is declining, who's going to go win you ball games? Like, AJ proved he could do that against the 49ers. Now, I hear what people are saying about Tannehill, but when you look at, like, Tua, who's having a great season now that he's got all these weapons, I think that Tannehill, surrounded by the right talent, could be just as good. Think of, like, 2020 when he had that really good season. And I also think about what Vrabel said after the loss to Cincy. He said they had to be great around Tannehill, but then they trade AJ. And that's not being great around Tannehill. Tannehill needs more AJs, not less.
So, Vrabel has clarified that comment like 6 times, which whether or not he's, was just telling the truth. Thank you, Chris. Whether or not he was telling the truth in his clarification about it, no, we need to run the right routes, we need to block the right guy, we need to do all the things that coaches teach people to do and not what executives do about acquiring players. And I do kind of believe Vrabel, but then I also kind of don't believe Vrabel.
I mean, I see both. Like, you have to have elite players around him, and you also need to play clean.
Here's my problem. As far as, they're not just one player away from having an elite offense, even if that one player is AJ. With AJ last year, they had the 17th ranked offense in the NFL. That's probably where they are now. They're 29th without AJ. If they had AJ Brown on this team, they're probably 17th, 18th, somewhere around there.
But AJ and a good play caller?
But you don't, but they're not going to get that.
I know, but I'm just.
The coach will not do that.
Speaking hypothetically.
The coach will not do that.
The coach would not go out and get a better offensive coordinator. Excuse me for thinking that he might.
He will not. He will not do that. So you're stuck with what you have there. The AJ trade is totally separate of the Downing thing, which I think is I've decided it's a problem. I just feel I just feel like in football, one guy can make that much of a difference, but sometimes they don't.
But AJ has made that difference for Philadelphia.
So I'm a little torn on this because I remember doing shows on Sirius XM when the schedule came out, and show there than it is here because a show here, there's 4 teams and we know what the stories are here, and I live here, and I talk to people here every day, so I know, what the pulse of people in Nashville is. Whereas, Sirius, it's I don't necessarily care about the NBA, but some people do care about the NBA, and so the schedule came out, and one of the topics I remember was comparing the beginning of the Eagles schedule to the beginning of the Cowboys schedule, and how I thought the schedule makers were basically setting Mike McCarthy up to get fired. And the Eagles schedule, it's every little nook and cranny of the schedule that the Eagles have, it benefits Eagles. So Thursday Night Football is a road game for both teams. But the Eagles have to play the Texans and the Cowboys have to play the Titans. Well, I mean, they don't even need to practice in order to go beat the Texans. The Eagles could have beaten the Texans any day of the week. And so I do wonder if it's the mix of a soft schedule at the beginning and the fact that, it's more than just AJ is what I'm saying. Yet at the same time, AJ is kind of the difference, and which has made them the elite team that they are. What do we have in the text line?
One texter checks in and says, has Tannehill ever been top 3 in the MVP race at any point in his life? Jalen Hurts this year is on another level from Tannehill at any point in time.
Okay, well, Carson Wentz almost won an MVP. So with that logic, we can say, well, but we know that Carson Wentz sucks. The idea of Jalen Hurts having a good season. I'll say this about Ryan Tannehill's 2019 season. The comparisons statistically were to Joe Montana. Statistically. Not subjectively. Statistically, the comparisons with Tannehill when he took over from Mariota were to that of Joe Montana. So I don't know if Jalen Hurts has statistics that are comparable to the second greatest quarterback of all time, but that's what Tannehill was. And then Arthur Smith left. And the sun never rose again.
No drama.
Stuck with Todd Downing. Speaking of Todd Downing, the one thing that I hope he does And the injury situation may actually help him in this regard. We'll get to that coming up next. 615-737-1025 on a Fireball Hot Take Friday. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. FanDuel Sportsbook is my official sportsbook app. And one of the things you got to love about betting on the NFL is that you can always find new players or game props that are out there. What's cool about FanDuel Sportsbook is you can combine these props with other bets from the same game to score an even bigger payout, which is perfect. Perfect for Sunday's game. I've already said under receiving yards for A.J. Brown because I think the game plan is going to be under receiving yards for A.J. Brown. Under rushing yards for Derrick Henry because, I hate to break it to you, I just don't think Derrick Henry's they're going to have to throw in order to win the game. FanDuel Sportsbook is easy to use, easy to register, easy to deposit, and easy to find your bet. They've got live betting, so it's easy to place your bet fast during a game if you see a trend you like. And they have fast withdrawals. When you win, FanDuel pays you your winnings quickly. There's no feeling like nailing a same-game parlay, so lock in your bet today on FanDuel Sportsbook. If you're new to FanDuel, sign up with the promo code JGM for your no-sweat bet up to $1,000. That's promo code JGM. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. 21 and older and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager, only $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable free bets that expire 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line 1-800-889-9789.
Every Wednesday at 2:45.
Sanders for the touchdown, 48 yards.
Former NFL wide receiver Chris Sanders joins Stillman and Company to give his thoughts on all things Titans and NFL. Fueled by Parman Energy, now hiring fuel drivers. Apply now at ParmanEnergy.com on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
A mild night with rain likely, possibly a few thunderstorms after midnight. Tomorrow that rain should clear by mid-morning, and then we should stay pretty dry through the rest of the weekend. Temperatures will actually drop throughout the day tomorrow, with temperatures in the 40s by the afternoon. For Fox 17, I'm meteorologist Brett Luna.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who believe only quitters end a game in a tie, the type of guys who choose the bar with the biggest TVs to overcompensate for theirs at home. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Have some family or friends in town for the holidays? Show them a good time. Great scratch food and even better scenic views at Twin Peaks. With plenty of shareable things on the menu, this is your place for holiday gatherings. Contact your favorite location for more info today.
Need cash for the holidays or to pay off credit cards right now? Loan Pronto's all-new Express Equity Line of Credit program is just what you need. This is great. You can keep your low mortgage rate and still get cash out. That's right. You don't have to do a full home refi. You can tap a small portion of the equity you have and enjoy a super low rate. With Loan Pronto's Express Equity Credit Line, you can close in 7 to 10 days, and a $50,000 loan will come your way, and it only costs you around $300 a month. Use that money to pay off whatever bills you have, credit cards, consolidate other debt, or start a home improvement project. With Loan Pronto, you can access up to 95% of your home's equity, and 9 out of 10 homeowners won't even need the appraisal. Even if you did a total refi recently or just bought your home, you can tap the equity with this fast, easy program. Do it now before the holidays. Call Loan Pronto, 615-499-5780. That's 615-499-5780, or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
Craftsman Days at Lowe's are going on now. Get limited time savings across the store like $100 off a V20 6-tool combo kit. Plus, enter the Craftsman Days Ultimate Garage Sweepstakes for a chance to win Craftsman products valued at over $10,000. Learn more at lowes.com/ultimategarage. Offer valid through 12/31 while supplies last. No purchase necessary. Ends 12/31. Residents of 50 USDC, 18 or older, and age of majority, and have a lowes.com account. Void where prohibited. See rules at lowes.com/ultimategarage for entry instructions, odd prices, etc. Sponsor Lowe's.
Robbie Stanley.
They get a lead in that game and just totally close the door.
Joe Rexrode.
If he plays next year, it's disastrous.
Robbie and Rexrode. Mornings from 6 to 10 on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 and 106.3 The Game, and on the Game Nashville app. You're listening to Stillman and Company.
Sounds like this has been a game-changing day for all of us.
Presented by TriStar Moving on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game, and on the Game Nashville app.
Snap count with Traylon. Is there a reason you don't see him get as many as maybe Woods and
Nick or even AJ last year, or is it kind of a progress work building up to that?
I think there's a natural progression into that as you're coming back from some time down, and I think game situations can also have an effect on that, and so we'll see where that goes on a week-to-week basis, but I think he's getting more and more comfortable, more and more conditioned, and all those things, so excited about where he's at.
That sounds like he's going to play him more, right? Or do you think that was just a bunch of words from down?
I think that's just words. All those coaches say are just words.
So Treylon Burks played 38 offensive snaps last week, good for 67%. Now think about this. Tyler Irwin, who made that one catch on the sidelines, the guy I'd never heard of for Cincinnati.
Yeah.
He played 52 snaps, 74%. So Tyler Irwin is playing more snaps and more percentage of the snaps than Treylon Burks.
Well, yeah, because surely they probably traded their number one wide receiver and drafted Tyler Irwin with their first round pick, right?
Well, what's crazy is that Tyler Irwin actually played the spot of their number one receiver, and in crunch time, they threw a ball that they normally throw to their number one receiver, that sideline pass, in which Irwin made a great catch and Vrabel challenge. He actually caught it. But T. Higgins played 83% of the snaps. A.J. Brown averages 89% of the snaps for the Eagles. Devontae Smith averages 90% of the snaps. Treylon Burks has never played more than 69% of the snaps in a game.
That's
in the
so
NFL.
bad. That's malpractice.
Now, Cody Hollister is out with a neck injury. Do we think now is the game that the Titans actually treat Treylon Burks in terms of playtime, that they treat him like a number one receiver and play him? Robert Woods played 81% of their offensive snaps. I mean, I'd like to see the number for the number one wide receiver around 90, but Robert Woods played 81. Westbrook-Akine played 75. Do you think this is the game where they treat Treylon Burks like he's the number one receiver and he plays 85+% of the snaps on Sunday?
Can I point out something?
Sure.
How embarrassing that question is. Now that this random wide receiver that you get off of somebody else's practice squad, now that he's out of the way, maybe your first round pick and your number one wide receiver might get a few more snaps.
Well, 7%.
That's embarrassing.
Hollister played 7%, 4 snaps on Sunday. Let's say that you give Hollister's 7% to Burks. That
so you're at like
goes
75
to 73%, 74%. So now you're going to have to come up with just a couple more snaps.
Yes, to answer your question, yes, that should mean more. And not just because Cody Hollister is out. He should have more snaps regardless, but especially now that Cody Hollister is out.
Give me the over-under on percentage of snaps for Treylon Burks. And again, remember that even that Packer game where he played great, he had 50% of the snaps. I believe he had 53% of the snaps the week before, and he had 67% of the snaps last week. What percentage of the snaps over-under do you give Treylon Burks?
65.
So you think it's going to be less than last week?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord, it can't be less than last week.
I know. It should be like 75, 80, at least. At least.
If he's healthy and he plays that whole game and he's less than he was last week, unless they win like 100-0, even if they win 100-0, I want him to play more snaps because I want him to be conditioned and I want him to get experience and I want him to be out on the field and I want him to catch passes. And Vrabel, if they're up big on the Eagles, which none of us are expecting, but if they're up big on the Eagles, Vrabel is going to stick his tush out at A.J. Brown's face at the end of the game and do exactly what they did against the Packers and throw a bomb to Treylon Burks.
Absolutely. And I hope they do. I mean, that
would be some tea.
What will it be and what should it be are two different questions. I think it would be around 65-70. It should be 85-90.
Ian, give me a percentage. What percentage of the snaps does Treylon Burks play on Sunday?
I'd probably go slightly up. I'm going to say 70. Right around, give him an extra 5%, 70 to 72%.
I think it's going to be 80. I think that the hint in that answer from Downing was that he's going to play more, and I think he's going to play more because Vrabel's going to want him to play more.
But why?
And for who?
Yes.
Because they put Hollister out there, but that's because they're those weird blocking personnel packages, right?
Sure. I would assume that Westbrook-Akine is going to take Hollister's spot.
On
in
that,
the
you think
only
so?
one wide receiver blocking play.
So does that mean Burks would take NWI spot in some of the other wide receiver sets? How do you think who are we taking off the field?
I mean, to be fair with you, I would take them all off the field in order to put Treylon Burks on the field. But I do hear your point. I think it's Westbrook-Akine. I think
so.
he's the one that comes out more. His number on Sunday was 75% of the snaps. That probably goes down to around 69, which is probably where he should be.
What percentage of the snaps does Robert Woods play?
Robert Woods played 81% on Sunday against the Bengals.
I wouldn't mind if he comes out for a few snaps.
Well, especially since he stopped catching the ball, which is an issue.
That's my point.
Phone line 615-737-1025. What do we have in the text line on Fireball Hot Take Friday?
One texter checks in and says the elite offense in 2020 was Arthur Smith and a great offensive line.
It wasn't a great offensive line. They had a third-string left tackle in David Quessenberry, who, by the way, did you guys see Quessenberry last night?
They were not giving him a lot of good props on the TV.
Ooh, he looked like he slipped on a banana peel and fell on his ass. I mean, he looked awful.
They were
last
like,
night.
oh, they're really up against it on the O-line. They have to start Quisenberry at left tackle.
Oh, he looked awful last night. So as much as we hammered the Titans going into the training camp and everything else, I'm not going to say I'm sorry, only because it's not like the Titans' offensive line has turned into the Hogs. But at the same time, man, Quessenberry was horrible last night.
Old habits die hard.
He was horrible. That offensive line wasn't great. It was fine. Just like this offensive line is fine. They're fine. Arthur Smith, yes.
Arthur Smith.
That was a part of it. And then the fact that everybody had a role and everybody played their role. Jonnu Smith's not great for the brain trust of the clown show Patriots offensively, but Jonnu Smith had a role here, and he played it great. A.J. Brown had a role. Derrick Henry had a role. Ryan Tannehill had a role. Corey Davis had a role. It was great. Khalif Raymond had a role. Go deep. It was great. This team, I don't really feel. I mean, I guess they have roles, but, who's the go-to guy in the red zone? Don't know. The one guy who's literally earned his role, who is like, this is my role, and he's only done it because he's done it enough to now the Titans don't have a choice. The coaches tried to not give him the role, is Hooper. Hooper is the third down tight end target. Third down red zone, they're looking for Hooper. And they're only doing it because Hooper caught the ball so many times that they can't not put him on the field in third down situations. Now, I think he should be on the field in almost every down situations, but Hooper, he's got a role. Everybody else, it's like they get a Conklin in a little bit, and then they don't get him in here, and then they get him in some run plays, they get him in some pass plays. They, just put him on the field. So frustrating. What's next?
We've got an Eagles fan on the text line that is irritated.
Okay.
Says, how on one end, AJ elevates the Eagles to elite, but in the other end, the Titans don't regret trading him. Make that make sense.
I mean, the Titans right now are 7-3. What would last year's Titans team be?
7-4.
7-4.
7-4, excuse me. What would last year's Titans team be right now?
Last year's?
Yeah.
7-4.
I mean, I think at this point they
8-3.
I think at this point they were 8-3.
And if they had AJ, I'd probably say they win another game.
8-3, 7-4. I mean, they're probably roughly in the same spot. Maybe they're the best team in the league. I do think.
They weren't the best team in the league with AJ.
As far as the regretting is concerned, I do think if the Titans knew how many of these teams would fall flat on their face this year, like Tampa Bay and Green Bay and all the other ones and everything else, I do believe that if they knew that, they probably would have kept AJ. Just because it's like, we're right there
So
and
close.
everybody else is.
The window is closing.
And if they had seen how Buffalo's played this year, because Buffalo has not been overly impressive.
At least in the second half of the season so far.
But I could be wrong. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. Chad Withrow, Outkick 360, will join us coming up next. His thoughts on the A.J. Brown Titans reunion on Sunday. Speaking of Sunday, following the Titans game, tune in for the postgame show with Jonathan Hutton and Chad Withrow, live from 6th and Peabody. The postgame show is brought to you by Renters Warehouse, Two Rivers Ford. Custom order your new Ford from Two Rivers Ford, and Superbook Sports, voted the #1 sportsbook in Vegas. Download their app today.
You love the game.
Predators win it in overtime. Touchdown, Tennessee.
We live the game.
My quarterback needs me to step up.
He can make a defense pay.
We are
1, 2, 3, 4.
I think it was a good game. You had a couple of big plays.
Roman Yossi scores.
the game. Nashville's best sports talk, 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen. Hey, Robbie Stanley here, and you can give the gift of Preds hockey this holiday season with the Smashville Stocking Stuffer presented by 47 Brand and Local IQ. This includes 2 hockey tickets, a Preds 47 Brand hat, and a $20 food voucher, all starting at just $79. Visit NashvillePredators.com/stocking for more info, or check out the 5-game pick plan presented by Hattie B's. Pick any 5 games and select your seats, plus receive a Preds car flag and a $10 gift card to Hattie B's. Visit NashvillePredators.com/tickets for details.
Men, are you asking yourself questions like, why am I gaining fat? Why is my energy or sex drive down and maybe haven't been getting the exercise you need? If you want to get back to the man you used to be but just don't have that youthful energy, that edge you once had, you very well might have low testosterone. Low T causes all kinds of issues, from a reduced libido, lower drive, and bad sleep patterns to problems with muscle gain, bone density, and more. It may even contribute to erectile dysfunction, and if this sounds like you, it's probably time to get treated for your low T. At the Tennessee Men's Clinic, we've treated thousands of men for low T. We've seen them put on muscle, add to their energy, improve their sex lives, get better sleep, and just feel better. Plus, if you're like most men, you'll see results in only a few weeks. So make an appointment today and experience how testosterone therapy can truly change your life. Your initial appointment is only $99 with results in minutes. Call today, 615-208-9090, or go to TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. Visit our website to learn more, including side effects, treatments extra, results vary.
Signs First, Nashville's leading locally owned and operated sign and physical media company, has been supporting local community organizations for over 30 years. Signs First offers a 10% discount to all churches, nonprofits, and charities. Go to sfnash.com.
Give the gift of luxury this holiday season. Nothing is more elegant than a trip to the Omni Nashville Hotel. Gift cards from Bob's Steakhouse or Mocara Day Spa make wonderful gifts for any occasion, especially during the holidays. The foodie in your life will enjoy an evening of fine dining from the award-winning Bob's Steakhouse. Bob's Steakhouse specializes in serving big, flavorful steaks next to Texas-sized portions of delicious sides. The special person in your life will be comforted with the gift of relaxation and rejuvenation when they receive a gift card to Mocara Day Spa. Let the spoiling begin with a soothing facial, hot stone massage, body treatment, salon service, or mani-pedi. Bob's Steakhouse and Mocara Day Spa in the luxurious Omni Nashville Hotel. Purchase your gift cards today.
Live from the Game Nashville studios. WPRT-FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne. Nashville's exclusive home for the Nashville Predators. 102.5 and 106.3.
A gunny performance. Do your job.
And the Tigers regain the lead.
The Game.
A Cromwell media station.
Where you have a voice.
We're one play away from an injury.
He knows this. He's a study of the game.
And we have strong opinions.
He's been awful. I don't think they were trying, and that's why I feel the way I feel.
This is Stillman and Company with Jared Stillman and Caroline Fenton. Presented by TriStar Moving on Nashville's best sports talk, 102.5 and 106.3 The Game. And on the Game Nashville app.
Stillman and Company is delivered by TriStar Moving, 102.5, 106.3 The Game, streaming live on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook Live. Thanks to the law offices of Amanda J. Gentry. Fireball Hot Take Friday. Titans and Eagles on Sunday. The people of Boston, apparently, are very mad about the fact that they're getting the Giants and Commanders on Sunday, and they're not getting the Eagles and the Titans.
Oh, I'd be pretty mad if I had to watch those teams, too.
So some people think that the Boston area likes the Giants because in the 80s, the 80s the Patriots were okay, but the Patriots were pretty bad. Like Mark Howard grew up in Connecticut, and he was a huge Giants fan because the Patriots were so bad that all those people from there were rooting for the Giants.
I would say it's almost like 50-50 Giants/Jets and Patriots fans in Connecticut.
But now in Boston, because Tom Brady dominated for 20 years,
so many more Patriots fans.
They don't care about the Giants anymore, so apparently the people of Boston are mad, and they want Fox to put the Titans-Eagles game on that. Obviously, none of us will have that problem, and they'll have the number one crew from Fox. Chad Withrow joins us now from Outkick 360, presented by Two Rivers Ford. Custom order your new Ford from Two Rivers Ford, and A Moment's Peace. Be a hero this year at amomentspeace.com/Christmas. Let's start with this, the question that I don't know. Sometimes we overthink things, I guess, or at least I do. And it hit me last hour, Chad. I said to Caroline, I was like, do you think the Titans regret the A.J. Brown trade? And then it turned into kind of this big discussion, so I'll leave this to you. You're John Robinson, and you and I are having a couple of Fireballs, to celebrate the weekend. And I ask you, after a couple Fireball whiskeys, hey, do you regret the A.J. Brown trade? How do you think he feels?
Well, if he doesn't, he should. I mean, it's clear who won in that trade, right? It's the Eagles. They're the better team. They're the better offense. The Titans are worse on offense. They're worse for not having A.J. Brown. But here's what the answer would be, though, Jared. If you had those Fireball shots and you got the answer would be, well, we'll see in a couple of years. Mm-hmm. Because it was a move that was made for 2-3 years down the road to stay wherever they want to in the cap, to try to develop another A.J. Brown type, knowing that he wasn't going to be A.J. Brown in year one, knowing A.J. Brown is currently at the height of his powers, and he's showing that right now with the Philadelphia Eagles. They've got the better record. They're the better team. He's still playing well. It is a clear L for the Titans on this trade, and there's no other answer to be had, quite frankly. It was a bad move. At least for right now, it's played out that way. We thought it at the time, and it's played out that way. Now, could that change? Could A.J. Brown decline? I don't think he's going to anytime soon. Or could Treylon Burks emerge and a year from now, 2 years from now, you look back and say, well, it worked out okay for the Titans? Sure, that could happen, and I think that would be John Robinson's answer to the question. But as of right now on December 2nd, 2022, it's a loss for the Titans, and he would regret it and should regret it for this time right now.
Chad Withrow, do you expect there to be anything out of the ordinary on Sunday, given AJ's animosity towards the Titans and how I think a lot of people with the Titans took it personally too? Maybe not like extracurricular fighting or anything like that, but just that it would affect the game of how AJ wants to play or how the Titans want to stop AJ or how Treylon Burks plays. Any of that could you see affecting the game on Sunday?
Oh, it will 100,000% affect the game. And A.J. Brown is about to go off in this game because that is how that guy is built, with animosity, with a chip on his shoulder. Even if one shouldn't be there, he is going to be ready for this game. I am predicting a big day for A.J. Brown in this Eagles offense against the Titans. I think he is obviously more than motivated for this game. So I think it will affect it. And then we're probably going to see some deleted tweets, which is not out of the ordinary. So I guess that's not answering your question about being out of the ordinary. It's something A.J. Brown does a lot. But he's probably going to fire off something that will then later be deleted after the Eagles win this game and he has a big day.
So you don't think there's any chance that Vrabel and Robinson, really Vrabel, not wanting A.J. Brown to show them up, puts in a game plan that shuts down A.J. Brown?
Well, I mean, any game plan that you would have to just shut down A.J. Brown, one player, I don't think would be conducive to doing the best thing to try to win the game. If you're just putting all the focus on one guy. So, no, I don't think that they're going to do anything special just to try to stop A.J. Brown and, lose the game. I'm sure that A.J. Brown is going to be a focus for the Titans in this game, much like, other players on the Eagles will be as well. So, no, I don't see any scenario where that happens. I've been consistent this week, guys. I don't think this is a close game. Jonathan Hutton believes it's going to be very close, but he's picking the Eagles to win a close game. I've been wrong before with Vrabel teams when I thought a blowout was going to happen, but I thought they were going to get blown out in Buffalo, and they did. I think this is going to be a similar story. I think they're getting beaten pretty, not Buffalo bad, but I think this is a 10 to 14 point Eagles win on Sunday.
So then how do you, Chad Withrow, how do you process the line moving from 5.5 to 4.5 in favor of the Eagles? I was expecting the line to be somewhere around 8.5. I was kind of shocked that it was 4.5. What do you make of it?
Yeah, I just think that it's obviously money coming in on the Titans, but I think that money is coming in on the Titans because they're a team that plays close games. Mm-hmm. They're a team that runs the football and plays really good defense, and that's typically what you can rely on with the Titans. They're not normally blown out, so I think that's why that line is there. I just see this as a bad matchup. I think it is a game where the Eagles have a good running game. Titans want to run the ball, but not always. They don't always have a great running game, but they are going to run it. I think both defenses are set up to load up against the run and do well to stop the run. But then once that happens, it's going to highlight the passing attacks of both teams. And I think that's where the Titans are in trouble because the Eagles are far better in that respect.
Chad Withrow, Outkick 360. How do you feel about Treylon Burks? My biggest criticism is they don't play him enough, and he is starting to come along. And if there's any game that the Titans are going to want Treylon Burks to play well, I would think it would be this game on Sunday too.
I'm with you. I want to see more of Treylon Burks. I've seen enough now with him making some big catches down the field that's got to be, you got to make a concerted effort to have 3 or 4 of those a game where you're taking shots to Treylon Burks. I've been impressed in recent weeks. It took a little while, but he's starting to come along. I think that's an encouraging sign for the Titans. It also goes back to my previous answer on this trade that, 2 or 3 years from now, John Robbins could probably look in the mirror and look at Titans fans and say, hey, not all that bad, that trade to move up and get Treylon Burks and get rid of A.J. Brown. I just think right now there's no way anyone can argue that the Titans are off without A.J. Brown and that the offense is better off without A.J. Brown. They're not. So I think that's where it's difficult right now to say that this isn't a loss for the Titans on this trade.
Chad, what do you make of the Todd Downing criticism of late, especially after the Bengals game?
I think, look, I don't think Mike Vrabel had a very good game against the Bengals either, right? I really don't like the decision to kick the field goal and not go for it when they're down there late, right? I mean,
I hated it. Especially giving the ball back to Joe Burrow.
Yeah, and you know your offense isn't equipped to. It's not even just that part of it. So now you've got to score twice. And you've got you're counting on another drive. You just got a 3 and out on the next one. Like this offense that hasn't done anything all day, that's lone offensive touchdown came on a fumble, returned in the end zone. Is now suddenly going to kick a field goal, then they're going to drive again and score a touchdown to win the game. I just thought that was a real stretch. And on the other side, I think it was a 4th and 5. You get 5 yards. The percentage chances you've got to play to get 5 yards. To didn't go and score a touchdown and tie it. I hated that move from Mike Vrabel. I actually thought Todd Downing early on, there were a couple of plays in the first 2 series of the game, a couple of little misdirection runs. One, they had Hilliard and Henry in the backfield at the same time. I thought were really clever. Just the play design of it was a little wrinkle and something different that I thought was good play design by Todd Downing. So, I mean, I get the criticism. Wasn't great, but I think this was more on Vrabel if I'm pointing to a coach or Craig Ackerman than it is, Todd Downing.
Craig Ackerman is infallible, Chad. I don't know if you know that. They are never going to punish the special teams coach. I don't know why. He will be probably ranked the special teams coach of the year. That I do feel in my heart. Chad Withrow, Outkick 360. As always, we've got our picks to make, plus Predators game day is coming up. But Chad's got to tell you about Two Rivers Ford.
Yeah, thanks, Jared. Two Rivers Ford, I've been going there for years because they treat you like family. They treat me like family. I feel like I'm a part of the Two Rivers Ford family. And right now, you can custom order your Ford at Two Rivers Ford. Go to tworiversford.com. You can call them at 800-900-1000. You can go out to the lot in Mount Juliet, look around as well. But if you want to custom order that new Ford, so many great options, Explorer, Expedition, F-150. They've got you at Ford, and they've been in business since 1983, treating people the right way. That's why they keep coming back. That's why I keep coming back. Two Rivers Ford. Custom order your new Ford from Two Rivers Ford. Again, that phone number, 800-900-1000, or you can go online, tworiversford.com.
Every Wednesday at noon.
No matter the down and distance and no matter the score, they're going to give him the football.
Outkick 360's Jonathan Hutton joins Chase, Willie, and D-Mace to talk all things Titans and NFL.
I hope that they're not throwing flags simply because the league wants to see more of them.
He's got opinions and insights on the two-tone blue.
They are not as good at wide receiver and the playmaking department.
Catch Hutton every Wednesday at noon. Presented by Blend Bar with Davidoff Cigars and by Edley's Barbecue on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
How to say I love you without words and make your money go further this year? A beautiful piece of jewelry from Genesis Diamonds. And we're making it easy with 0 interest financing. That's right. While interest rates are on the rise everywhere else, at Genesis Diamonds, we're lowering rates all the way down to 0% with 0 down. This is in addition to Genesis' amazing, unbeatable value prices. How about a 5-carat diamond bracelet for only $85 a month? Or a luxury pre-owned Rolex Submariner or Datejust? Pay nothing down and spread the cost over 5 years. Everything's included in this amazing holiday offer, but this is only through December 12th, so shop early. Unique designer jewelry, colored gemstones, classic diamond studs, handcrafted engagement rings starting as low as $35 a month with 0 down. Even our GIA certified diamonds are included. Let Genesis help you find that remarkable gift for the season and enjoy low payments and 0% financing for 5 years with no money down. Merry Christmas from Genesis Diamonds, Green Hills and Cool Springs on approved credit.
Open Sundays till Christmas.
Hey, Teron Davenport here for Superbook Sports. When it comes to sports, it's all happening right now. Football, basketball, hockey, and soon enough, the World Cup. And there's no better place to wager on all of it than Superbook Sports. When you sign up, deposit, and wager in the same day, Superbook will give you a bonus up to $1,000. Yes, $1,000. When the sports world is busy, it's time to get busy winning some money. So download the Superbook Sports app or visit superbook.com to wager and win today. Visit superbook.com for terms and conditions. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789.
Achieve hero status this year. The woman in your life will love this unique and thoughtful gift. Always in style, always fits, always appreciated. Choose your budget, and whether you spend a little or go lavish, she can choose from 10 different services, all under one roof at a Moment's Peace Salon and Day Spa. Gift cards can be printed directly from the website, or they can be beautifully wrapped for a stunning presentation and even paired with other gifts like robes, candles, and all sorts of fun finds from the Gift Boutique. Learn more about this at amomentspeace.com/Christmas.
Jonathan Hutton.
You have to put the ball in his hands in that moment.
And Chad Withrow.
My kicker's making no decisions on a football team.
Are in the game. Join them for NFL postgame after every Titans home game. Live from Landshark Bar and Grill in Margaritaville on Broadway. They'll break down that day's game and look ahead to the next one. NFL postgame is presented by Two Rivers Ford, Renter's Warehouse, and Superbook Sports on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app. You're listening to Stillman and Company.
Presented by TriStar Moving.
102.5 and 106.3 The Game and on the Game Nashville app.
Hang out with me, Caroline Fenton, this Saturday morning at 10 a.m. on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game as I preview the SEC football slate, a.k.a. the SEC Championship this week, with Southeastern Carolines, presented by 312 Pizza Company in Germantown. I'll give you my picks of the day and get you set before kickoff around the South.
How many kickoffs are there around the South?
One. Actually, technically a few.
I mean, is there like the
Big
Southland
12
Championship? The
Well, I'm going to do all conference championships with a focus on the SEC Championship.
And Deion Sanders to Colorado?
Well, that is not a kickoff around the South, but that is some tea.
Reportedly.
I do wonder how many people really care about that.
I don't.
I didn't think you did.
I mean, make of that what you will. It is time a condensed six-pack picks because the Predators pregame is right around the corner. So, Ian, I know I did poorly last week.
3-3 last week for Jared.
Not bad, Jeff Fisher.
4-2 for Caroline.
Yeah. You know what? Where I screwed up?
Michigan.
Ryan Day.
You took Ohio State -8.
Oh, I thought it was going to be a close game. See, this is what I thought.
He should be disqualified from the competition.
I thought it was going to be a close game. That Ohio State was going to kind of break open in the fourth quarter. The exact opposite happened.
Yes, it did.
That is.
I thought that was a gimme. The gimme of the day.
So disappointing. Ohio State. They're still going to make the playoff if Utah wins tonight.
Yeah.
Ian, take it away.
Okay, the season records. Jared is at 37, 42, and 2. Caroline is at 43, 36, and 2.
All right.
You have to retire.
All right, we will start with the championship games tomorrow. We'll skip tonight's game. 11 a.m. ABC tomorrow morning, the Big 12 Championship. Kansas State versus TCU. Over-under 61.5. Close spread, as we would expect. TCU -1.5.
I'm going to take TCU -1.5. I think they win this game. Once TCU beat Texas, I thought, okay, this team is invincible. This team can beat anybody. TCU's been rolling and hot all season long. Give me TCU to cover.
I am going to Sally Week everything this week. the Sally rule, named after Sally Reese. Floyd said, do the opposite of what you think is going to happen. And so for that, I am going to take Kansas State. I believe they played close the first time, although not very close the first time. I just don't like TCU anyways, but I still think TCU is going to win. And so I will take Kansas State because I'm going the opposite of what I think is going to happen because I've been picking so poorly lately. Oh, God, I have to pick LSU?
I don't know. That's up to you. 3 p.m.
I guess that's up to me.
3 p.m. CBS SEC Championship game. LSU versus Georgia. Over under 52, but Georgia minus 17.5.
I'll take LSU plus 17.5 because I think LSU is going to get killed. And I want to lay the 17.5 so badly. But I'm doing the opposite of what I think I should do. And so because of that, I am going to pick LSU plus 17.5.
And I'm going to do the opposite of what I want to do because LSU is going to get their butts whooped tomorrow. And it's not like this is the thing in like rivalry week where games are always close. Like the SEC Championship is almost always historically a blowout. I think it's going to be opposite of what we saw in 2019. Georgia's going to roll tomorrow, but I'm just here to have fun.
All right, switching over to the NFL. Our good games in the NFL this week. Our first game will be noon, CBS. The Jets traveling to Minnesota, taking on the Vikings. 44.5 or over under. Minnesota, though, only minus a field goal. Minnesota minus 3.
Oh, I like that. I'll take Minnesota. I think the Jets are just kind of, while I think they've exceeded expectations this year, I think they're kind of a mess with the whole quarterback situation. I'll take the Vikings.
I do think the Vikings are going to win. I think the Vikings are probably going to win by a touchdown, so I got to take the Jets.
Okay, all right.
Jets, Jets. I will, let me say this as I make my Sally Rule predictions here. I will make a for real Titans pick. But I am picking the Jets because I think Minnesota's going to roll.
Okay, 3:05, Fox, the game of the week here on 94.9 The Fan. Dolphins at the 49ers. Over under 46. San Francisco minus 4.
So I think San Francisco's going to win because that is a long flight for Miami, and offense doesn't travel as well as defense. And to me, they're very similar teams. They have great defenses. I mean, Miami doesn't have a great defense. San Francisco does. But Miami, they have great skill position players to go around probably average quarterbacks. But Tua is a better quarterback than Jimmy. I still think because of the travel, San Francisco is going to win. So I will take the Dolphins because I think San Francisco is going to win. So flip it for me. Give me the Dolphins.
I'm actually going to take the Dolphins, too. I'll take them to cover. I think I'm with you with the long trip. I do think San Francisco probably wins it by like a field goal. And I think the Dolphins are a better team, but they're on the road. I think they're kind of evenly matched. I think it'll be closer than 4 points. So I'll take the Dolphins to cover.
Back to CBS for the afternoon game, 3:25. Should be a fun one. Chiefs at the Bengals. We'll see if Jamar Chase comes back. He's officially questionable. Over under 53. Kansas City minus 2.
I'll take the Bengals. I don't. The Bengals. That's what I said the first time.
No, you said Bengals.
I got lazy there. I really don't think the Chiefs are that outstanding of a team. Nothing that they have done this season has really wowed me. And I guess I could say the same thing about the Bengals, but with the possibility of Jamar Chase being back, and even the Bengals looking like how they did against the Titans without Jamar Chase, I will take Joe Burrow any day. Give me the Bengals to cover.
I'm taking the Bengals. I ain't picking against Joe Burrow. I love Joe Burrow.
That's not a Sally pick. That was not a Sally pick.
You're right. Give me the Chiefs. Give me the Chiefs. I have to pick the Chiefs. Give me the Chiefs. I love Joe Burrow. God, I love Joe Burrow. I hope he just shoves his foot right up Kansas City's rear end. And I know they're going to, because did you see what Justin Reed, the safety for Kansas City, said?
No, I didn't.
He talked all this trash about Hayden Hurst and couldn't remember his name or whatever. And I was like, don't do that to Joe Burrow.
How do you talk trash and not even know the guy's name?
Do not do that to Joe Burrow. because he will make it personal.
And Joe Burrow will make anything personal. Even if you give him absolutely zero bait whatsoever, he'll make it personal.
Oh, he will make it personal. Oh, I love Joe Burrow. Oh, why do we have to pick Kansas City?
All right, that brings us to our final game, noon. Fox, number 1 crew, great crew. Titans at the Eagles, over under 44.
Crew stinks.
Philly minus 4.5.
Titans to cover the 4.5. For some reason, I just feel like very weird. I feel the same way about this game as I did about the Packer game, where I felt so just at ease with taking the Titans to cover and even to win. I feel the same way about this game. The Eagles are a way better team than the Packers are. I understand that. But I just think there's something with the AJ Juju. I think that they win this. I'll take them to cover. Maybe win, but I'll take them to cover.
I think the Eagles are probably going to win, but I'm going to take the Titans. I'm going to take the Titans for this reason. Because a day one season ticket holder by the name of Steve Eisen, a good man, is battling cancer right now. And I know just in my heart the Titans are going to win this game for him. Steve Eisen's a good man. He's a good father. He's a good friend to a lot of people. A good member of our community. He's a great lawyer. And so I know how much of a Titan fan he is. And I know the Titans are going to win on Sunday, and they're going to win it because of him. So that is why I'm taking the Titans on Sunday, is for Steve Eisen. That's why, because I think that the Titans are going to win the game for him. So give me the Titans on Sunday. With that, it's time for Predators Game Day.
It's Hockey Night in Smashville.
Deflects back for Duchesne. His shot stopped, and the score!
What are the keys to victory tonight? What's being said in the locker room? Where do the Preds reside in the Central Division standings? Jared Stillman has the latest now. With Preds Game Day on Stillman and Company. This is Smashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Predators Game Day presented by TJ Anderson Homes. Buying or selling, or even thinking about buying or selling your homes? Talk to TJ Anderson. He's my realtor with Benchmark Realty. TJ has sold 2 homes for me and done even more for my friends. I have no hesitation in referring them to him and his wonderful staff. If you're looking to sell your property free and clear, ask TJ how he's having success with marketing those properties. TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty. Predators win in miraculous fashion last night against a great team in the Devils. They turn around, take on a good team tonight, Lane Lambert and the Islanders. We start with, by the way, no little picture from Katie today.
Katie.
I mean, what are we doing here? There's
Come
no
on,
picture
sister.
breakdown.
Quick turnaround, back to back.
Okay, all right, fine. Still, come on now. This is John Hines on that quick turnaround.
Just because we just played them, we'll take a lot of components of that game. You know, obviously we got off to a fast start, but I thought we were better the first half of the game. They were better the second half of the game. So I think it's understanding why we were good in this certain area, but then also what are the things that allowed them to take momentum of the game over as it went on.
Final thought presented by TJ Anderson Homes. Look, a lot of people do not believe in this hockey club. You win games like you did last night. You win games like you do if you beat them tonight. You're going to get a lot more people to believe. That's it for us. Pre-game show is next. Stillman and Company. Pre-game show is 9:30 on Sunday. We will see